son of a bitch.
Brothers don't shake hands. Brothers gotta hug.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Because you are my friend.
Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 26 of Super Enabler Bros. I'm Jason the Corpse Floyd Gaming, accompanied by my excellent co-host, Chris, the old ass retro gamer. How's it going, Chris?
Doing okay.
All right, and we
Just okay.
Just okay.
Just okay.
Just come see, come saw.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we got a guest with us today. None other than Tiger Chainsaw. How's it going, buddy?
Doing great, guys. How are you guys doing tonight?
Excellent. Now that I can, back to another episode. This is one of the funnest things I get to do, so I really look forward to it. You'd think I'd plan more with how much I like it, but such is life. So, before we get started, why don't you tell everyone who you are, what you do, in case they don't know for some reason?
Sure. All right. So my name is Tiger Chainsaw. I love video games, as you can see behind me. I'd say I have a website, tigerchainsaw.com, where I review video games from, the NES, the Sega Master System, the current games now. But I would say my big crown jewel of kind of like my video game specialty would be the Tiger Chainsaw Show, which is a retro video game talk show. And I will review one game. And from that, I do like a comedy sketch. I do review of the plot. I do review of the gameplay. I have a musical guest to perform at the end. But the best part is I have creators from that game show up and they'll talk about it. So I've had Manami Matsume from Mega Man come on. I've had Mickey Nielsen from Blizzard Entertainment. I had the Wave Race 64 announcer come on.
That's awesome.
And I had Terry Smith, who is the creator of Kratos, come on. And actually, a couple days ago, David Jaffe, the creator of God of War and Twisted Metal, literally tweeted about my show and was like, "Hey, go watch this. This is really cool stuff. It's really awesome." So that's kind of what I do on YouTube. It's super underground right now, but I'm really hoping to get it going.
It's awesome. The goods. It's the goods.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, yeah. Significantly less production value here, but we're glad to have you.
I appreciate it. No, I love talking games and just nerd culture with anyone. So very happy to be here. Thanks for the invite.
You're in the right place.
Yeah. That's all we do here. We don't do nothing else but that. So you're in
fly.
Fun hangout. Yeah.
Yep.
Sweet. Well, what you guys been up to lately? What you been playing? What you been watching? We'll let you go first, Tiger, since you're the guest.
All right.
What's some cool shit you've been playing lately?
So I have this rule with myself. I can only play 2 games at a time. Otherwise, I'm not going to complete any games. So the current game that I am playing right now is Days Gone on the PS4.
Yes.
Yeah, so I heard a lot of negative stuff about it, and my entire experience with it is complete opposite. I'm loving this game. I don't know why people were trashing this. I think the characters are so well written. I love the aspect of just riding your motorcycle around and upgrading it. And it's just a really pleasant experience that I've had on the PS4. So that's what I've been playing. If you want to know what I've beat in the last couple months, I can talk about that. But that's currently what I'm playing right now is Days Gone.
Absolutely.
I love that game.
It could be anything recently. Yeah, they're cool. Yeah, what's some other cool stuff? I'm interested to hear it.
So I missed out on so many games back in the day. I've really just become a retro gamer. I want to say in the last 3-4 years, where I've really focused on games from the 80s and 90s that I completely missed out on. So for the very first time in my life, I played a Legend of Zelda game, and I beat the one on the NES. So the original Legend of Zelda, I had to play that one first. And I was blown away by how good this game is.
Absolutely.
It was insane. But if there's one complaint that I have, it's that damn silver arrow. I did not know that you needed it to beat Ganon, and so I kept fighting him, and I was like, why can't I beat this guy? But I need
What's
that
his
silver
weakness?
arrow. I know.
Yeah,
I know.
absolutely.
Did you do the second quest?
I didn't do the second quest. I
Yeah.
was like, I don't got time for this. I beat the first
I beat
time.
it once. That's it.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I played that, I was at a friend's house on a black and white television. I remember I had only been playing in the Atari 2600 at that point, and when I watched him play that, I was just like, "This is the coolest thing I've ever seen."
Yeah, that's crazy.
Zelda's got a special place in my heart. The first game I ever owned was Link's Awakening on the Game Boy. I'm
Super
kind of like you by the sounds of it. I missed out on a shit ton of games back in the day because I wasn't allowed to have a Nintendo or anything like that because my parents said, that's all you'll ever do. So now
Well,
I
yeah.
got grown up and I got my own money. I'm catching up on all the shit I missed out on.
For you, Mom and Dad.
Stuff I
In your face.
The only thing I had back in the day was a Game Boy, and that's because my friend bought it for me, and just so happened to be the Zelda bundle. So, yeah, lifelong Zelda fan here.
I wish I had friends that bought me Game Boys and shit.
Yeah. Man, I was a joke. It was like grade 4, and he's like, "Hey, man, what do you want for your birthday?" And I was like, Game Boy would be sweet, you know. And then
that's a good friend.
Gave
Are you
it
still
to.
friends with him?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Because they were not cheap back in the day. They were not cheap.
He bought my lifetime friendship with that. But
He
I didn't find out.
He bribed you.
Back in the day, I actually thought like he just got his mom because he had pretty nice stuff. So I was like, he probably just got his mom to get it. And I didn't know until probably about 5 years ago when I was just kind of talking to him in the store one day, and I was like, "Oh yeah, man," because he saw that I was doing YouTube and stuff. And he's like, "You still got that Game Boy?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I got it." And I mentioned it. He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I remember back in the day when I got it for you, and you were like, oh." He's like, "I had some money saved up for like Power Rangers and stuff." And he's like, "Oh no, my bro needs a Game Boy. He's got no games." And I was like, "Man," I just almost like got teary eyed. I was like, "Man, I didn't know that was like your own money." Like I appreciated it so much, but I'm like, it's like I re-upped on the appreciation.
Did you tell him that he also created a monster?
Yeah, what you've done. Well, I also used to go to his house all the time and play like.
He's the original Enabler Brothers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that's what it was like when. That's the only like exposure I got to playing games was playing at Buddy's house. So like single player gaming was like a rare thing for me. So like I said, when I finally got a Nintendo, my parents finally caved. I think it was because my uncle made them buy me an N64 because they're like, he's got 14 games for it. He's got 3 controllers. He just doesn't have the thing, and he's always borrowing mine, and then I never get it back. I'm sure he actually bought it, but Santa gave it to me.
Super cool.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. So what else do you? Sorry, I just went off on a Zelda tangent.
Oh no, that's cool.
That's
As
Zelda.
expected, it's such a huge franchise. I'd say like the other 2 really big name games that I've beat over the last 2 months, Shenmue, which I was so blown away by. One, okay, so it's terrible voice acting, just atrocious voice acting. But
And you get to drive a forklift.
I know. And like their eyes when they speak to you, they're always just like, "What do you want, Shenmue?" And it's just, like, not
just
Shenmue,
Uncanny Valley.
Yeah.
So that was really fun to experience it, and I really did feel like I was in like 1986 Japan. Like it was just like such a cool vibe.
Yeah.
The arcade games that you keep on running into, the old Sega games.
Yeah, and then the other game that I beat on the DS was Chrono Trigger. Played Chrono Trigger for the first time in my life. Loved it. Loved every moment of it. So I've really knocked off some really important games in gaming history.
heavies.
I feel like
Some heavies. Yeah.
I still
If you like
have not
Shenmue-
played Chrono Trigger. I still have not played it.
If you like Shenmue, I've got to ask: have you ever played a Yakuza game?
great question. I played the Yakuza Kiwami. Is that how you pronounce it? Kiwami or something?
Yeah.
So I played
the remake of the first one. Yeah.
Yeah. So I played that, and my wife and I just celebrated an anniversary like a couple days ago, and she bought me brand new Yakuza 1 and 2 for the PS2. And so I'm totally going to jump into those because I know how much I loved the PS4 one.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went out and I bought Yakuza 3, 4, and Dead Souls on the PS3. So I'm like, I'm set. Let's do this.
You're in. I gotta recommend though, or Yakuza 0. I think I played through the whole mainline series last year, except for Zero because I had previously played it. But I played through Kiwami 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and Like a Dragon in a row.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I gotta say, Zero is I think still my favorite. Might have been just because it was the first one I started at, but highly recommend snatching that one if you.
Yeah,
if you
part 2 on the PS2 was hard to find for quite a while, and then for out of nowhere, like 3 or 4 years ago, Sega just decided to like reprint it.
Yeah, that was weird.
Because I remember it was like even before like COVID prices happened, it was going for like $150 or something like that.
Yeah,
just used. And then out of nowhere, I look on Amazon because I had it on my wish list on Amazon, and it said, "Hey, it's in stock." I'm like, what?
Yeah, like $30.
And it was like $50. I was like, yes,
Yeah.
click.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Have either of you guys played Judgment?
I have them.
actually,
I have not played them.
I'm actually have just started it, and it's
Okay.
really good.
Okay.
So I don't know if you saw the announcement a couple of months ago, but going forward, Kiryu, the main character, is like his story is done after 6, and Like a Dragon, which is number 7, starts with a new arc of a new main character, and it also is turn-based, so it's more like a tactics game out of nowhere. And I didn't know how to feel about that because that's what I liked about when I found Yakuza. I was like, why don't they have like a newer version of beat 'em ups? They have like the hack and slash games, you know, they got Devil May Cry and God of War and stuff like that, and that's pretty cool. But I'm like, I just miss like run down the street and beating the shit out of people like Streets of Rage style. So what did they do? And then I discovered Yakuza, and then I was just like, all right, this is where it is. So now they're making a tactics RPG. I'm like, having beat it, it's really fun, but it also does get kind of old. And I was like, I kind of like the later games in the series. Like I think starting with, actually most of them have like you go between different characters and different chapters. And I was like, I think I'd like it if they had one character who was like the turn-based RPG style, and then it also kept with the, you know, beat 'em up stuff for the other stuff. But
That'd be a good way to introduce that.
Yeah, looks like Judgment is like how they're gonna keep it going forward. I was like, oh, they could have made Judgment the turn-based RPG and kept Yakuza. So I was really like offended by that until I was like, I'm reserving Final Judgment till I play it. But I was like,
Judgment.
yeah. But no, it was that was
I made it funny.
That was accidental. But yeah,
intentionally accidental.
After having played it, I'm like, it was a fun game, but I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna miss beating the absolute shit up. You're grabbing a bike and hitting a guy in the face with it.
Oh yeah. That's classic stuff. I'll pick one more game out from the list I have, just because it's such an awesome game, and I'm really curious if either of you guys have played it. But have either of you guys played Valfaris?
I haven't. I have not had a chance to play it yet. I haven't had a chance to play 99% of my games.
It is. I cannot recommend it enough. If you love heavy metal, gore, like run and gun platforming, this game is so dope. It's about 10 hours long. And it's just like when the main character will grab like a new weapon, he starts like headbanging and like heavy metal just starts blasting. It's so sick. Like I love this game. So you guys should definitely check that out sometime.
Are you a big metal fan?
Oh yeah. Oh
so
yeah.
We're best friends now. All right. Welcome to the best friends club.
Do you know Knocked Loose?
Yeah. What's that?
Do you know Knocked Loose?
Yes.
That's like my favorite band right now. I went and saw them by myself. Like I love Knocked Loose so much.
I can't wait to go see a show again. The last show I saw was Toxic Holocaust and Soulfly, and it was like right when the pandemic was starting, and it was just a couple hours away, and I was like, I don't know. I got a lot of stuff coming up. Midwest Gaming Classics coming up. I'm going to LA again in like a month and all this. And I was like, I probably shouldn't do it. Then the last minute I was like, fuck it, I'll just go do it. And made the trip, and then that ended up being the only thing I got to do for 2.5 years. So glad I went. Soulfly is not. Yeah, I liked them back when they came out. I kind of lost track of them, but they put on a decent show. But yeah, it sounds like when I listen to their newer albums, I'm like, oh, they sound better than I remember them sounding. So I was like, oh, I kind of feel bad for losing track of them.
I hear Mudvayne's making a comeback.
It's because Vinnie Paul died, so you can't be in can't be in his other.
If you guys like metal, check out Valfaris. You will not
Oh,
be
yeah.
disappointed.
It's actually.
Have you played Slain?
Oh
on
no,
the
but I heard
PS4?
that was like kind of like the prequel, right? Like
Yeah,
someone back
it's
from
more
hell.
of a beat 'em up than like a run and gun, but the music is done by one of the members of Iced Earth,
Yeah.
Okay.
and it is awesome. It is hard as hell, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
I was actually streaming that on Twitch like years ago, but yeah,
I
it's
really
kinda
want
fun.
to check that one out.
Yeah,
And
it's pretty
Valfaris has a sequel coming out, but they completely changed the gameplay. It's now a shoot 'em up. It's like a mech
Oh.
shoot 'em up, and I'm like, well, it's such a
Just be a different
different
thing.
yeah. I'm like, what are you guys doing? You guys had the perfect formula.
Speaking of metal and that at the same time, it makes me think of when they like replace a crucial member in the band and they keep the name. You're like, you're not that band anymore, though. You're just some of the guys from that band, and then like a legendary singer or something, or like the main guitar player leaves. You're like, you're not. What are you doing?
Like Alice in Chains or something, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Depeche Mode is now D mode.
Yeah, like it's kind of stupid when they do that. I don't know. I actually, speaking of Valfaris, I have a little CD case with like 6 slots, and it's been in my CD case for when I bring my games to work, because I do a lot of night shifts as a jail guard, so I get a lot of gaming done there, and it's basically been like the next up for about a month. I've been playing a lot of Greedfall lately, so it seems to be taking its time though. I was really liking it at first, and it's kind of becoming a little mundane, but I'm gonna chug through it.
You ever co-op with the guys at your garden?
Oh yeah, they have games.
Yeah, when they're not throwing the Xbox Ones at the wall.
Yeah, they have a game day and stuff, and it's like we got like a incentive program for like, hey, don't be a shithead, and then you can have you can play. We got Switches, we got Xboxes, we got the Wii and everything like that. So they have like a game day on Sundays if they have a good day. And
That's awesome.
yeah, we play a lot of that. And then we had a pretty bad.
Bring House of the Dead Overkill for them to play.
We actually did play House of the Dead.
You watch somebody crawl back into their mom's vajayjay.
we played House of the Dead 2 and 3, that double pack that they have. I brought a couple.
Oh god!
And
don't let them play a way out.
Yeah, no.
Give them ideas.
Well, that's funny because I brought the escape plan the other day for us to watch for movie night.
Oh god! The one with Arnold and Stallone.
Yeah, because I bring a stack, and when there's always at least 2 or 3 Schwarzenegger movies in there. And they're like, "Well, these Schwarzenegger movies all the time." It's like,
because he's awesome.
You gonna talk like that? It was like,
come on.
We said the one day, and then the guy that said that was doing something for a bit, and I was like, "Fuck you! I'm throwing on Commando for that." So we just watched Commando, and yeah, it was funny. But yeah, so I get a lot of gaming done there, and actually that's where I beat most of the Yakuza games. I beat all 5 of the Uncharted console games. I know there's the Vita one too. I don't count that one, but yeah, I beat all those at work. So I got plenty of time to play that shit, and yeah, it's been in there for at least 2 months now, and I'm like, all right, let's wrap it up here, Greedfall. So
yeah, I got one more game. I got one more game like on my list I want to play after the one I'm currently playing, and I'll probably try putting Valfaris in there.
I was like that. I never know what because it's got to keep me awake, so I got to be like right into it. And I have like basically just a smorgasbord of like different styles of games. Like I got an RPG or 2 in there. I think I got Near Replicant. I've got East 8. I got Resident Evil 7 in there. I've got what the hell's Tormented Souls.
Valfaris. I'm gonna play that. Jesus.
What else is in there?
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of long form games lately. So like a 10-hour game.
A couple of shooters.
Kind of be a nice change of pace.
Yeah,
I got a couple of shooters and then a Lego game. Yeah, a couple of shooters and a Lego game, I think, are the other ones that are in there. I don't remember exactly. But, cool. Sometimes I just want to fuck around and play a Lego game. I was playing Riddled Corpses EX last night for a while. I don't know if you guys ever played that. It's like a twin stick, like survival shooter.
Oh, I would love it. I love twin sticks.
Yeah, it's like a real 8-bit style. But it's pretty fun. I got it. I don't know, a bunch of stuff when, I don't really do digital either, but when it's like $1 versus, I don't even know if there is a physical version of that game, but I'm like, if $1, I'd buy that for $1.
One of the best twin stick shooters.
It's funny you said that though.
Yeah.
One of the best twin stick shooters that I know of is Dead Nation. Did you guys ever play that one? It's by a House Marquee.
I don't
Oh,
think
is it a PS3 game?
Yeah, PS3 digital only.
Oh yeah,
But
I got that game.
Dead
on
Nation's
PS3.
so good.
Yeah, it's a lot like that, but it's they're like real. It's all 8-bit zombies, and it gets increasingly harder. It's like one of those things where you like pick up gold and you upgrade yourself, and you can tell when
I
you're like
gold.
you can tell like I gotta, and you can buy the power ups, but like you get I'd say it's different hits, but it just says I guess it's lives. I'm not sure because you don't die if you get hit. You get like 5 hits or something before you die, and there's only like 5 or 6 levels to it, and I think I'm like 3 or 4 in, and I just started playing it last night after I was like, all right, I'm taking a break from Greedfall. Greedfall plays a lot like The Witcher, but it's a little slower moving. It seems like it's making me it's more fetchy. Go and do this. Oh, and there's no like quick travel. Like you have to go to points to quick travel, and they always seem to be like a 5-minute walk away. So that's been kind of getting to me. I'm like, I'm kind of wearing out on just traversing all the time. I want to fight more shit, and shit that you fight seems to be overly easy. So I'm like, man, nothing's really a challenge. So I think that's where it's losing me. I don't know. I don't know if there's a difficulty. I might up the difficulty a bit and give myself more of a challenge. But it's like, I want more fighting. I'm doing like diplomatic shit. I don't want to do diplomatic shit. I want to kill beasts and shit. So right. What have you been playing, Chris?
Haven't really been playing much of anything. I'm still working my way through Halo Infinite.
Who are you?
Yeah, I've been doing other things, but like I was playing it Tuesday, I think that was, and I thought I was at the end of the game because like this big epic thing happens, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess this is the way we're gonna end it. Are we gonna have like DLC add-ons, or is there gonna be another game in the series? I don't know. And no, it turns out I hit the halfway point. So I was like, oh, I guess I'm playing this for another 35 hours.
The title of the game comes Halo Infinite. You're like, that was
Yeah, I was like, oh, I had barely scratched the surface of what's going on in this. I'm like, okay, all right, we're still doing
They
this.
didn't flip the world upside down like
No, like Castlevania.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, it is really good. The story is like epic. It is so big. And it just keeps on going, and they're bringing in like characters from other games, and they're bringing up old stuff from other games, and tying it into really cool ways to the story of this one, and
like
it's getting good.
Featuring Dante from Devil May Cry.
No, not quite. From the other games in the series, derp.
Yeah.
And they're even working like the Cortana stuff from the last game, and they're kind of making you look at it from a different point of view in this one, which kind of makes Part 5 a little bit better, in my opinion. So yeah, it's really interesting, and it's well written, and it's fun because like it switches between being an open world Halo game and being like a standard linear one. So yeah, it's a lot of fun, and the different weapons you keep fighting are awesome, like awesome. I keep on using this one that's like a handheld. It's like a little handheld shotgun.
I didn't know that it was open world. That's pretty unique.
Yeah, I had no idea until I bought it. I thought it was just going to be another Halo game, and it's like the game starts out just like every other Halo game where it's a linear path you're on. You're just trying to make your way through enemies and get out of this facility. And once you do, it's like, oh, by the way, you have the whole Halo ring to explore now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, oh! I don't know where to start.
Get to it, little buddy.
Yeah, and it's really good. I like it a lot. Makes me wonder what it would look like on the Series X, but I don't currently have that. So, but even on the Xbox One X, it looks pretty fantastic.
Yeah, I don't even currently want Series X, which is weird with how much I like Xbox.
I want it for the backwards compatibility mostly. That's my thing, which means I can put the Xbox 360 away finally.
Oh, you know me though; they're all still out.
Yeah,
and I'm always buying 360s. I'm like, oh, like wasn't it last episode? I got the last special edition 360 they released. So yeah, I'm just a sucker for more 360s.
My original 360 just died.
Shit.
Wow.
It sounds like you're lucky like me. I never had one Red Ring.
Oh, God. I had two.
The only problem I ever had with the 360 was the tray starts to stick after a while, and you got to like do the Fonz bump on it. But
Yeah.
besides that, like
I had to get rid of that Super Slim that I had just because there was nothing wrong with it. I was brand new when I bought it, but for some reason, when you would play a game on it for more than 10 minutes, the disc would come out feeling like it was on the surface of the sun.
shit.
And I was like, I'm afraid these damn things are going to melt in the system and make it unusable. So I just got rid of it and got the slim one.
Yeah,
The
Halo
second
4
generation
one,
one. Yeah, I got that Halo 4 one. Yeah, which looks sweet. It makes weird noises, makes pew pew noises when you turn it on.
I'm thinking of swapping out, bringing my PS4 Pro to work, and gonna start bringing 360 and knock out more of my 360 library, since it's like my biggest library out of all my systems. But as of now, it hasn't happened yet. Maybe after I beat Valparis or something.
How many games do you think you have for the 360?
That's your biggest collection, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's like 586. The last
Oh
time
my
I remember it
gosh!
being.
Wow.
Yeah,
What's like the big rare game that you have?
big rare game? I don't know. 360 games are rare.
Blue Dragon,
Yeah, I suppose I got that. I got
Halo
I don't
3
know,
ODST.
I'm always surprised when I hear like, "Oh, this game's rare now." I'm like, "Oh, I got it."
You got a Kai Katana.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That
one's kind of hard to find now, and so is
Death Smiles is kind of hard.
Which one?
Death Smiles.
Yeah, I got that collector's one that comes in that big long
Oh, that's
box
sick.
with
I still think
the
Bullet
faceplate.
Yeah,
I bought Death Smiles off of Amazon probably in 2013 for like $10, brand new.
Yeah,
Before everybody went like gaga for it.
Yeah.
I got a lot of the shooters for it. I got a Dodonpachi.
Yeah, those are hard to
yeah,
find.
That
now.
actually,
cool.
It's an import that actually works on the North American one.
What's that weird one that I had that's like, oh god, I have to look it up on my phone. It's like version 1.23 or something. Shit.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Hang on, I'll look it up while you guys talk amongst yourselves.
I'd say the rarest 360 thing I have, 360 related thing I have, though, is my world record for it. That's why I started. I think that's why I got so many games for it. I was just like, if it's on 360 and PS3, I'm like 360, because my brother also had it. So I was just like, he can always borrow my games.
What do you mean the world record?
I had the world record for most gamer score in 24 hours for a couple of years. Yeah.
Whoa.
He has pictures of it.
Yeah, where is that?
Man,
It's like something Futari.
Oh, you're ringing a bell. I'm not sure. Oh, I guess it's not in here. I thought I had it in here. It should be on the wall, but I got fucking walls covered with games instead. And then the other wall's action figures. But yeah, it was 2012, I think I did it. And then I found out that there was in Indiana, they had this event called Achievement Fest, and this guy tried like 2 years in a row, I think, to beat the record. But meanwhile, it's around the time Extra Life started coming around and doing their their fundraising and like their 24-hour marathon things. And so I raised a bunch of money for a local-ish children's hospital. And then I was like, oh, I'll redo it. And I beat my own record by 5,000 points, I think, just over 5,000 points. And then the guy that was helping me do the video, I did all the video stuff on the first attempt when I got the record. He seemed to think it's going to be on TV, because I was like, hey, you don't need to record it in like the highest resolution. You just need to be able to tell it's me. And he didn't tell me that he didn't have an actual video camera. He had like a Canon camera, and he had to keep dumping his like memory card. And I was like, dude, it's supposed to be like an if you cut the video, I could just go, all right, I'm just gonna take a break till tomorrow, and I'll just wear the same shirt. I'm like, it's got to be uncut video. So I'm like, if one of my other cameras stops while you're doing that, it's null and void. Like, I have to start over. So yeah, he did that right when my my one camera, I think the one that was watching the TV, it'll stop after 12 hours. And I literally just had an alarm set so I could double check and make sure it started again. And right when I did that, he popped his memory card. I was like, cool, man. Thanks. So At least I raised that money, but then my record was out the fucking window. I was like, cool, man.
Oh man.
And now I got 4 kids, and I don't have to, I have to really, really suck up to my wife to have time to do that again. So then the guy actually beat my previous record by like 400 points, and I was like, cool. Yeah. So yeah, that's the story of that. So it kind of sucks. I intend to do it again someday, but it was cool to have. And everyone's like, oh, how much do you get paid for something like that? Nothing. It actually cost me a shit ton of money because I had to ship a package of like DVD-Rs of the recording of it for some guy I feel sorry for to sit and watch. And yeah, back then I was like, one of the requirements is to have like somebody, you have to have 2 witnesses at all times. And I'm like, who's gonna want to just sit and watch someone else play video games? Yeah, it was before.
That's what Twitch is for.
Yeah. Now it's like the biggest thing in the world. Like, who's gonna? I gotta find someone who doesn't, because they had to be people that didn't know me. It couldn't just be like my brother. But so I was like, who's gonna how do you even go, hey, you want to come to my house and watch me play video games so I can do a record? Yeah. So the requirements were kind of a pain in the ass, but thankfully my brother had friends that were like, oh, I'll come watch him play games. That's fucking sweet. Yeah. So that worked out. But yeah, it was a fun thing to do, but I don't know. Now that seems easier to do. I'm like, oh, I'll have to do it, but.
That's something that my wife doesn't understand is like when I was a kid, I used to love watching other people play video games, whether it was at my house or their house. Like I just sit on the couch and just like enjoy the story or like whatever they were playing. And she's just like, who wants to watch people play video games? I'm like, you'd be surprised. You ever heard of Twitch?
Yeah.
I liked it. Like I hate like back in the day when you're like playing a 1-player game and you trade off each death or whatever. I liked that, but I had it took me years to want to play turn-based RPGs because I had a buddy who'd be like, "Hey man, stay over tonight," and I'd be like, "Fuck yeah, come on, we'll play some games and shit." And then like I'd get there and he'd just sit there playing like Final Fantasy for like hours, and it's cool at first until you see the same attacks over. And I'm like, those games are really fun to play, but they're dull as hell to watch unless there's like something actually story related going on. You're like, you fought this guy already 30 times.
There's only so many times you can summon Ifrit and be impressed.
You're gonna fight him again, yeah? Okay. Got any comic books or something I can read while you're doing this? And then finally he'd be like, "Yes, what do you want to do, man?"
Just to break up the monotony.
And then luckily after a while he got a second TV in his room, and I just get to catch up on some games that I didn't have. So, but yeah,
that's the way to do it.
It took me years to like. It took me until like the 360 was out for me to go. I like the stuff that RPGs are about, but I just have always kind of hated them unless they're like Diablo style RPGs, like an
ARPG.
And as soon as I see turn based, I'm like, nope. So I finally like got I tried it out with what a lot of people consider one of the worst Final Fantasies. My buddy lent me Final Fantasy 13. I'm like,
Final Hallway 13.
It's not so bad. I was like, yeah. So I didn't think it was that bad, but then I'm like, all right, after playing other games, I'm like, yeah, it wasn't the best. But yeah, so I love them now, but there was a few years there where I was like, these are ruined for me. So stuff like Chrono Trigger, I'd watch him play that too. So actually playing it for myself now, I see why it's so awesome. I was like, shit's boring because when you had to watch someone else play it, but yeah. So now I see what they're all about and I like them. But yeah, there was a long time there where I was like, ooh, this looks cool. Is this like Baldur's Gate style, or is it? Oh fuck, I think that's turn based, and I don't know how many games I'd be like kicking myself now. Like, oh, remember when you saw that at a store for $10 and now it's a $250 game?
Yeah, that was like me with.
Would you put it back because it
Earthbound.
wasn't? Yeah, it wasn't the type of game that you like playing.
KB Toys was selling copies of Earthbound. They had to stack them for $5 back in the day, and I was like, I don't want that.
Oh man.
No, I wish I bought every single one of them.
Yeah, put them in a tote for 30 years. Yeah, hindsight's always 20/20.
Yeah.
So you've been playing anything else besides Halo?
No, just mostly watching stuff.
All right. Well, yeah, I've been like I said, I've been playing a lot of Greedfall, but I have played the shit out of Shredder's Revenge. Well, like everybody else, it seems like right now, just about.
Yeah.
That's
like the buzz game right now that everyone's talking about. They can't go anywhere without hearing about it.
It's
including right here.
I'm usually very I'm very like leery of like when I hear too much about something, but when it's turtles, you know how I like my turtle games. My son and I just played the shit out of it on before I had to go to work the other day, and it's worth it. It's actually like earning that hype. Like it's.
Who's your
I have
character
no
of
complaints.
choice?
Because when you start, you only get the turtles, Splinter, and April, and I am Leonardo. Actually, I like swords. As a
That'd be
character,
my choice too.
as a character, I probably like Raph more, but I like that swords reach farther than size. That's my. But yeah, I've always been I always like Leo, but as a character, I don't like him as much. But yeah, swords are awesome. So I'm that, and I think he was Michelangelo. So we just played.
I would say kids usually tend to play Michelangelo.
First 10 levels so far, but yeah, I'm excited to see what other characters they unlock. I know Casey's in there. I don't know if there's anyone else. I don't want to look it up. I want to be surprised. But yeah, good variety. There's little kind of like side missions, little challenges every episode or every level. Like do this type of move to 5 guys. It's almost like achievements in each one. I'm sure there's an achievement for like the pain, like do all of them, and there's a couple pain in the ass ones like never get hit, and I'm like I don't feel like playing it to that degree where I'm like so good at it that nothing can touch me, because then that's when I get bored of games. But for now, we're just having a blast. Some really good throwbacks to like characters that you just know who's coming up. When you're sewer level, I wonder who's the boss of this level.
Rat King.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's been awesome so far. It's right up there with Retropalooza or Rescue Palooza. I'm really loving it. So,
What was the other beat 'em up that just came out recently? Everyone's like
Sifu?
raving about that one too.
Sifu?
No,
Is that
it's like a
the-
retro style. I think it's like Final something.
Oh yes. I'm stupid and I don't remember.
I'm looking it
If
up.
I only had this device that can tell me things I want to know.
Final Vendetta.
I'm in.
Final Vendetta. Or yeah,
Final
that's what it
Vendetta.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, that looks really good too.
Yeah.
I'm glad that there's the beat 'em ups are kind of having a resurgence, because it felt like for years you're like, where are they? Where'd they go? And like I
I
said,
haven't
that's
played
when
one
I
in
was,
a long time. And then when I went to Minnesota to visit church, we played multiplayer Mother Russia Bleeds.
yeah.
And I was like, I forgot why I like these games so much.
I'd say honestly, I really think about it all the time, and I really think that beat 'em ups are my favorite style of games. Like I just nothing.
As long
They're
as it's
quick.
not Final Fight.
They're just pick up and play. Yes, Final Fight can go fuck itself. But
Did you ever play Foul Play? Either of you guys?
I'm not familiar with that one.
sounds familiar.
I did a Tiger Chainsaw episode on Foul Play. It was made by Devolver Digital and Mediatonic. Those are the guys that did Fall Guys. Well, I haven't played that, but it's like a really unique beat 'em up. You're in a theater, like a play theater, and every enemy is like in a costume and stuff, and you have to keep the audience entertained to keep going. And I thought it was like just really unique gameplay, and I thought it was pretty dope. But
It actually does sound pretty cool.
yeah,
Check it out. I'm always up for more beat 'em ups.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What was it called again? Foul Play?
Foul Play, yeah, it's super sick.
Like one thing I both love and also dislike. Like I said, like I love all the old school beat 'em ups. But I'm like, can we have a new school beat 'em up? Like, we got everything's got to look like it's on Super Nintendo, and I love Super Nintendo, and I don't want the message to get lost in the shuffle here. But I'm like, can we have like a first party, like a big title, a big beat 'em up, like something that bridges the gap? It can even be the style of the older games, but can we have like a newer style beat 'em up? Because I'm like, I that's why I feel like until I found Yakuza, I felt like is it a dead art form that the only way you can have a beat 'em up is if it looks like it's on the Super Nintendo? Because I'd like to see like I know there's a couple PS2 ones that are kind of shitty where they did try that, but I wish they'd try again because I'm feeling
I
like
think the reason that they do that is because people our age are so set in that like nostalgic era of beat 'em ups.
yeah.
They're like, if we make a new beat 'em up, these kids don't want to play it. But if we make it look like something from the 90s, all these
the old
gamers are going to
guys.
jump on it.
The old guys will rave on it for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I get it, and it doesn't bother me that much. But like sometimes I'm like, what if we got like a deep story beat 'em up?
Yeah.
And Yakuza scratches that itch for sure, and also the Fist of the North Star game made by the same developers, like totally. But I'm like, I want to see it more often. I want to see it can even be a retro style story of like just paper thin, but I want to see something that's like a movie where I just kick the shit out of people.
Did you ever play Anarchy Reigns?
Yes, I did on the 360. Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad. Like that's like a guilty pleasure one for me. I'm like, I know this is
That's the one by Sega, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
had that.
mindless fun, but I was like, this is fun though. It's fun.
Yeah, like not. Yeah, I don't need to have intellectual fun all the time when I'm gaming. Mindless fun is some of the best fun. Like,
Yeah,
that's why I like
World on the Wii.
Like Lego games and shit. It's just like it's not tough. It's not challenging my mind in almost any way. Most every Lego game is just break everything around you until the pieces to build something pop up, and then you build it, and then you get out of the room you're in. But I still love playing them, even though I've got 30 of essentially the same game with a different property slapped over top of it. I'm fine with this. So yeah, guilty pleasures I don't feel guilty about at all. Definitely, I'm always like, I don't need to explain myself. I'm just having fun playing this shit. It's
right
like
on.
Why playing wrestling games is fun. And you're like, I don't even watch wrestling, but I still play the games. I just feel like I gotta reference it sometimes and be like, this can't be a real guy, and then you look it up. Oh my god, he's a real wrestler. That poor guy, he's going nowhere. I just beat him. My dad still talks to me like I watch it every week. I'm like, oh yeah, I kicked the shit out of that guy. And he's like, huh? I'm like, no, I was playing that. I had a storyline with him. Yeah. And my dad either remembers that I play video games or thinks I'm crazy. I don't know. My son thinks he's a wrestler. Have you seen him? He's not a wrestler. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'd say that's one of my guilty pleasures is still playing wrestling games, even though I can't even watch WWE anymore. It just bugs the shit out of me. It's awful.
I hear AEW is the way to go now.
Yeah, I watched. I've seen before. I have to turn it off at work. I've seen like half matches and been like, "This is cooler than I've seen anytime I've tried to watch like the last couple of WrestleManias I've tried to watch." So that's saying something. I'm like, I have no idea who these guys are. It's just entertaining. So that's what the point of it is. Whereas whenever I watch WWE, I'm like, what are they doing?
So I don't really know too much about wrestling, but my Uber driver, I was in New York a couple weeks ago, and he just like would not stop talking about how awesome AEW is. He's like, yeah, it's way better than WWE or WWF. He's like, they pay their wrestlers, they show up, and like you can just tell they're way more into it than like what the other wrestling organization is doing now. So I've heard good stuff about AEW or is it AEW?
AEW.
Yeah. And a lot of people are jumping ship and going there and all that. And from what I understand, they give their wrestlers more like creative control of their own characters. You work for the WWE and they're like, you're burlap, dude. You just got to wear burlap all the time, and we'll make it work. I don't know. It's really itchy. Yeah, that's your thing. You're like, hey, itch. Oh, he's itching. He's about to do his finisher with the tomato sack. It's like, no, they're not even trying. They're just throwing two dartboards and they throw. All right, you're that guy. All right, cool. You're balloon badger. All right, cool. Yeah, that seems like there's like no.
What was that guy, Shock Trooper from the 90s? That was like a fat guy wearing a stormtrooper mask that was painted glitter. It was like painted with blue glitter.
That's like a bedazzled stormtrooper.
And then the first thing he did was break out of one of those paper doorways, and he fell and tripped, and his mask fell off.
Yeah. So,
that was the last time you saw him.
Guy? Who is
and then that was the last time you saw him. I think it was like Earthquake or something. That was the guy.
Yeah. It was really. That's one of my funniest. the funniest clips I've seen of just rando wrestling. Just
Yeah.
like
And I don't even watch wrestling, and I know that.
just like WCW when RoboCop came out and they played it straight like RoboCop's real. And there's some guys in a cage, and they're like, "Oh my god, they're trapped, bro! Well, look, he's beating the hell out of them." Like their partner or something was getting beat up, and then RoboCop comes out and rips the door off the cage and lets them out. And you're like, "Wrestling's real, though, y'all."
Yeah, it made me want to laugh, like when the people that still claim that wrestling is real, like when David Arquette was promoting that wrestling movie that he was in, and he
does
showed up
actually
on one of the
wrestle.
broadcasts. He showed up on one of the broadcasts and like beat one of the biggest guys they had. Like, yeah, wrestling's real, y'all.
Yeah, he actually does wrestle still. Like, I seen there's a really good documentary show. Like, even though I don't like it anymore, there's this show called Dark Side of the Ring, and it's like documentary. It's mostly on like older '80s, '90s wrestlers, so I get it right into it. But David Arquette was in an episode about this guy. I can't remember. He's like one of those basically backyard wrestling type dudes. That's like ultra violent, breaking like light tubes over themselves and slashing people with pizza cutters and shit. And yeah, he had a match against this fucking psychopath. Like this guy's just like known for like going too far. Like there's this. They showed this thing where he's. I think it's like the ropes are barbed wire with light tubes in it, and then like right away he gets like whipped into it, and he falls on it, but it's just that half the tube is still going, and it just goes right into him. Like he almost died doing that shit. And yeah, he's fighting David Arquette. And David
Yeah, I
Arquette's
guess
like,
he's not coming back for Scream 6.
David Arquette has a match with him, and he's like, "Yeah, just don't mess up my face. Like I'm an actor." And the first thing he does is take like a freaking like trowel or something from a garden and like cuts his face or whatever that little rake is, and I think he like cuts his face up, and he's like, "What the fuck is going on?" Yeah, like, it's like, "Oh yeah, it's a wrestling match, but like just rip his face off. That's okay."
Did you guys ever see the movie The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually
I
really
liked
good.
that. I thought that was a really good movie.
Yeah, he made that big comeback off that movie, and then like I don't think he did anything.
Then he
else
did Iron Man 2 and killed it.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say he was in that.
What?
And then,
Where is board? Where is board?
yeah, I need my board.
I need my board. That's not my board.
Yeah, that was awful. I like the movie around it, but yeah, he's a pretty awful character.
Where's board?
But yeah. Anyway, off wrestling topic, but yeah. What you guys been watching? Seen any cool shows? Seen any cool movies lately, or what?
You want me to go or Chris?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, either one. Yeah, go Tiger. What's up?
All right, so like video games, I don't watch a lot of current stuff, but I've been catching up on my backlog. I got
Do
two
that here.
buddies, Lame Dad and GameCube Galaxy, and they give me nonstop shit because I've never seen Back to the Future or The Terminator. Okay?
What?
Yeah,
Okay,
I know.
kick him off. Kick him off. Kick him off.
It's over. Never seen the term. Oh my
I know.
god.
So I need to knock those movies out, but I watch much more important movies like Mask with Cher. I saw that one.
Wait, I gotta stop you. Have you seen Ghostbusters?
I just watched that for the first time last year.
Okay, you've watched it though.
Yeah, I did. I watched that. Like I haven't seen Home Alone either, so I think I need to get on that. But what's the other movie I just? Oh, Goodfellas. I did watch that. I watched that because Ray Liotta died, so I was like, all right, I should check it out, I guess. And it was pretty solid.
funny.
I didn't realize that it was a true story though.
Yeah, that's messed up.
Yeah.
Ray Liotta really did that shit. Yeah.
I love the ending where they're like, "Oh, by the way, he lives in the burbs now."
Yeah, he could be your neighbor.
Yeah.
But that was pretty interesting. As far as TV shows, my wife and I just finished Saved by the Bell, which was such a interesting look into early 90s teen drama. Like
It was our Degrassi High.
Yeah. like the whole caffeine pill thing. It's like
I'm so scared.
now kids are like doing heroin in the bathroom, and back then it's like, oh man, these caffeine pills, don't take too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like bath salts.
Yeah, I know. Tide Pods.
Yeah.
It was so innocent back in the day.
I
Yeah, no,
know.
so we kind of like mentioned it before we started recording here, but there's actually podcast that what's his name?
Zach Morris.
Zach
Gosselaar?
Morris. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark Paul Gosselaar does a podcast with the guy who does the Zach Morris's trash videos, which if you have not seen, definitely check out. And it's called Zach to the Future, where they review a episode every episode, and it's pretty entertaining. I kind of lost track of it. I used to listen to it a lot when I delivered pizzas and shit, when I had to drive more. So I haven't been driving nearly as much the last year and a half or 2 years. So kind of lost track of it since then. But yeah, it was a really entertaining show. It's pretty funny for a guy who rips on Zach Morris so much, does a podcast with Zach Morris, and that's how they linked
really
up.
cool.
He's like, "Hey, I like your videos." He's like, "Do you actually like him, or are you gonna?" Hey, I like when you just call me a piece of shit. Just get stomped out by Zach Morris.
They do one of the episodes in Saved by the Bell. There's like this actor, and he's doing like a drug PSA in it, and it's been memed a ton of Mario Lopez saying like, "Stop, just say no, like drugs aren't cool," and the cast gets so upset with the guy that's doing the PSA because he's like smoking cigarettes, and they're like, "We thought you were cool, I guess not." And it's like the whole thing is like a big like anti-smoking commercial. It's just so funny to see like how innocent this stuff was back then.
Oh yeah, that's how all the shows.
Oh,
Like,
90s.
the drug pushers always, they're so mean and stuff. You're like, no one's giving away free. Hey, you guys want to try some drugs? Like, no one's just giving that shit away. It's
Just
expensive.
nondescript, just drugs.
Want some pot, man? Oh, and then they smoke pot and melt or whatever. Sees his
Like
friend a week
the worst
late.
thing. Yeah, the worst thing is to get like munchies and shit, and that's about it. And like eat all the hot fries.
The one kid's like, I gotta go home, man. My mom's expecting me. And the other guy's like, I'll try some. And then he like sees his friend a few days later, and he's all dirty and homeless. He's like, shouldn't have smoked weed that one time. I'm like, damn, dude.
Got cataracts and shit.
Yeah.
What happened to you, man?
It's like, were you smoking pot or crack?
Yeah, I thought that shit was.
And did
laced,
you smoke
bro.
all the crack?
Yeah. Exactly. This
Yeah.
reminds me of that scene from what was it? Dave Chappelle, Half Baked,
No.
where he's trying to go to rehab for weed, and then Bob Saget's in there. He's
Boo
like,
this man!
Yeah. You ever suck dick for
For coke?
No.
Yeah, you ever suck dick for coke?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Speaking of that, sucking dick for coke, that reminds me of Reno 911. I'm watching that as well, and we
I
kind
love
of
that.
talked.
That's the best segue ever.
Well, Terry on Reno 911. He's always like,
yeah.
you know,
His roller skates and shit.
Yeah. But that's a pretty interesting show. They could never make it in a million years again. But
They did bring it back, I think, for Paramount Plus.
you're right. They did it for
Yeah.
Quibi, I think.
Yeah, is that what it was? Yeah.
Yeah, but the stuff that they do on that show, I'm like, no way would that stuff fly now.
Oh,
I remember we
Nick
saw
Swartzen's
some
awesome.
friends and I saw the movie when they released the movie. We saw it in the theater.
And the
Yeah,
rock,
we just
they killed
watched
the
the
rock in
movie.
it.
Yeah, they killed the Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like a grenade or something, and he died?
Yeah, he like fell on the grenade or something, if I remember right. It's been like I've only seen it the one time, so it's like
Same.
barely in my memory.
Yeah. Nick Swartzen was definitely a standout. Like,
Swartzen was my favorite character on that show because whenever he would show up, I would just like have tears in my eyes. I would just be laughing so hard.
yeah, they got turned
The
into a stand-up
random
and stuff.
shit
He had his
coming
own
out of his
show.
mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was excellent. All right, you seen any other cool movies lately?
Oh boy, cool movies I've seen lately.
I won't hyperventilate if it's anything else, but yeah, but Terminator and Ghostbusters are the oh my god, everyone.
That's
No.
Jason's whole existence right there.
Oh, I'll tell you a movie that from my childhood that I just rewatched for the first time in about 15 years. That I used to watch almost every day as a kid, and it was Saving Silverman. Did you guys ever watch that one?
Yeah,
Is that not with Jack Black?
I
Yeah.
always knew it
I
was
think
different.
I want to say I saw it once.
I'm gay.
Is that the one with Neil Diamond in it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I've seen it once. Yeah, I saw it when it first came out on video.
Oh
Yeah.
man, it holds up to this day, just as funny as I remember it as a kid.
It's
Got
pretty
Jason
awesome.
Biggs, Zach something. I can't remember his name, but
Jack Black.
Yeah, Jack Black, and it's just so funny. So I watched that a couple days ago for the first time in a long time, and I was like, man, this is a good movie.
Yeah, the only other like American Pie is like what he's most known for. But another movie I really like with him, and he does a movie with Dane Cook called My Best Friend's Girl.
Yep,
that's a pretty good one too. Have you ever seen that?
I have. I've seen it one time, but
Yeah,
I remember I liked it. It was good.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I like the parts where
He was on Orange is the New Black also.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That's pretty cool. So
And then they kicked him off the show because they had nothing left for him to do.
as they do. He's one of those went upstairs and never came back characters. They just don't even have a reason for.
I think he was only in the first 2 seasons, and they're like, "Yeah, we're just going to start focusing on the prison exclusively. So everything that happens outside, you're gone."
Shitty. Well, Chris, I know you had to have been watching something because you weren't playing a shit ton of games.
Yeah. So I went and saw Top Gun Maverick, which I thought was fucking awesome.
I've heard
nothing
nothing
good stuff
about it.
I had a problem though, which was I had never sat through the original Top Gun.
I remember this. Yes.
So I have tried ever since it was on cable back in the day to watch that movie, and I always turn it off because I think it is so awful. I went to Half Price Books like 2 or 3 years ago, and I found a 3D Blu-ray of Top Gun. And I was like, if there's one way you're going to get me to watch this movie, it's in 3D. Yeah, and sure enough, that bar scene where Tom Cruise is trying to serenade Kelly McGillis with that, you got that lost that love and feeling. I turned it fucking off again. So before we went and saw it, I was like, all right, fine. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to force myself to watch it. And yeah, that movie's pretty bad. Like I hate it up until Goose dies, and then once Goose dies, it gets better because it actually turns into a movie. Because before that, it just feels like a music video.
Volleyball.
Do they have?
Everyone's super sweaty in it for some reason, all the time, and everybody speaks with exclamation points. No one actually says a line of dialogue. They all like they're in your face with it every fucking time. It's just, I just can't do it. I can't do it.
I've seen this video of Quentin Tarantino like deconstructing it into being like this shadow like pro gay thing from back in the 80s. Like
it does have that like 1980s. It does have like that 1980s like homoerotic thing going on. I mean, obviously.
Yeah,
but
like, there's a podcast I listen to. It's called Your Mom's House, and the guy's wife. It's a guy and his wife, Tom Segura and his wife Christina, and it was like one of her favorite movies was that. And then Tom shows her the Tarantino video. She's like, now I can't watch. Now it's just changed too much for me because now I notice it all. She's like, it was one of my favorite movies ever. Now I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I thought
they're like the most
weird.
men's men. Now I'm like, no, they're the men's men now.
It's like you need to watch a double feature of Top Gun and Showdown in Little Tokyo.
Yeah,
because that's the thing. But yeah, it's just I don't like Maverick as a character in the first one. He is just very unlikable. Yeah, like as much of a dick as Val Kilmer's character acts in the movie, he's actually a better character than Tom Cruise is. So we went and saw the new one, and we went and saw it in 4DX.
What is it?
Which is 4DX is chairs that move. There's wind effects. There's lighting effects, and they pump smells into the theater. And they also, if there's like a fog or something in the movie, they pump like fog into the theater.
That's insane. That's
and it
wild.
is crazy because this movie is like 75% airplane shit. So you're like, I shit you not, my ass left the seat. Yeah, my ass left the seat at least 3 times.
I smell jet fuel. That's why you like it so much because you're actually high on the.
Yeah, no, they did not. They actually didn't pump smells in there or do any smoke stuff. But like, whenever the planes were shooting off
your neck.
Yeah, whenever the planes would like let off the countermeasures or shoot a missile or something would explode, they would flash lights in the theater to make it like light up the room, kind of thing. And the chairs are moving all the time. It's crazy, and the air they splash water on you. Like the chair in front of you has like a water nozzle, and there's whenever a plane would take off from the aircraft carrier, they would always spray water in your face like you're going over the ocean kind of thing. It's
Oh, there's,
How
there's
much
really
does
cool.
a ticket cost?
It was only $20.
That's worth it
Oh.
to me.
And it was, and I went, and I liked it so much, I went and saw it again in 4DX. And I took a coworker with me because he didn't believe me that that's what was going on. And he liked it so much. 2 days later, he took his kid to go see it in 4DX, so he went and saw it again.
and there was,
But yeah, it's pretty fantastic. I saw a couple movies in 4DX before COVID hit. I saw Sonic the Hedgehog, and I saw Bloodshot. And Bloodshot, they were constantly filling the room with smoke because there's a lot of fires in that movie.
yeah.
But yeah, Sonic, they were shooting air at your face to make you feel like Sonic was running past you and stuff like that. It was kind of cool.
There's like something like that. I'm not sure if it was at Universal Studios or maybe it was.
Yeah, they do that at Universal Studios with the Shrek ride.
There's a Shrek one, and there's one with like Bugs Life or something like that too, where you'd feel little bugs going like under you or the back. Of your legs.
There's one part in there's one thing that I forgot about that they do in Maverick is Tom Cruise goes to this like aviators bar and he meets up with his old girlfriend, which is Jennifer Connelly, and he gets kicked out of the bar. And when they kick him out of the bar, someone puts their foot in like the small of his back and like uses that as like leverage to push him. Yeah. And when they do that, something punches you in your back, like in the small of your back. there's like a little piston. There's like a piston in the cushion that punches you in the back. And I was like, God damn!
Like my hernia.
Yeah.
To the theater.
So that was pretty awesome. The movie's fantastic. The movie's great. It's a really good action movie and like completely makes the first one worth sitting through.
Sweet.
And then I saw Jurassic Park Dominion Tuesday.
I feel like I need to apologize to you, even though
It was horrible. I hated it.
Yeah.
I hated every minute of it.
I mean,
I remember like it's like one of those things where it's like, remember when the Jurassic Park movies used to be about dinosaurs? And this one's about giant locusts.
What?
Yes, it's about giant locusts eating crops.
I feel bad for my wife. She really wants to see it, despite seeing Fallen Kingdom.
It's worth it to see the old characters again. I'll give them that. I mean, seeing them all together again is really cool. But the thing is, they don't act like the characters from the first movie. They're just kind of generic. It's kind of disappointing.
They're just above seats.
Is the girl and the boy from the first one? Do they ever make an appearance? The blonde haired?
No, they're not there. It's just Ellie, Alan Grant, and Malcolm that come back.
Okay.
And I was really excited. I was like, if anything gets me, to go see this one, because I didn't like the last two either, the other two Jurassic World movies. But I was like, if anything's going to make me like it, it's this. But the way the last movie ended, I thought it was like it made this one have like the most potential out of the three, because like dinosaurs are loose in the world now. I thought it'd be cool just to have it be about trying to live in that world now. But no, it's about another evil corporation.
Like, I don't even remember Fallen Kingdom. I disliked it so much. I missed it in the theater, so I bought it on Blu-ray, or else I wouldn't own it on Blu-ray. Definitely.
I don't own any of the newer ones. I think I only own the original Jurassic Park, and that's it.
I was just say, I think it's really cool that you still go to the movie theater, because I'm going to sound like an old man yelling at a cloud real quick, but the last movie I went to in a movie theater was, I think, Halloween, like the new one.
The reboot? Yeah.
Like the Rob Zombie one?
Nope. The one that came out maybe 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, the one in 2018,
okay.
Yeah,
so that was the last movie I saw in theater. And
don't go see the new one.
I heard about that.
Evil dies tonight!
I know. But my experience, like before the movie starts, they had two guys come in the theater, and they're like, hey, you guys have to stop vaping in here, because we've had to call the cops 3 times because the smoke detectors go on. And they're like, get off your cell phones, stop talking. And then as soon as they left, like the movie starts, and it's like everyone is just on their cell phone. Everyone's just like talking away. And my wife and I are just like, why are you guys here? Like, let's watch a movie in silence and like, experience it. Like, just live in the moment. And it was so frustrating for us. We're just like, we're done with the movie theater. Like, let's just watch it.
I'm one of those people that if I hear that shit, I will let you know that it is annoying me. So when I saw Maverick the second time, so like the tickets are more expensive for that 4DX thing than a regular, it's even more expensive than like an IMAX ticket. there was like this group of like 4 or 5 girls that were maybe 4 or 5 rows ahead of us on my right, and they were talking like full voice the whole movie. And I'm sitting there going, why would you pay $21 to come and watch this movie and you're just talking like about the stuff that you would normally talk about at school?
Yeah.
It's like, why did you waste that money? So like I said, I am the kind of person that will I go, shut the fuck up. And yeah, I went and saw that movie Blockers with John Cena, where he's trying to stop his daughter from getting laid on prom night or whatever. Yeah. And there were two high school girls sitting directly behind me, and they were just gossiping for the first 20 minutes of the movie. And I just turned around, looked right in the eye, I'm like, shut the fuck up. And dead silence the rest of the movie.
Good for you.
You'd be surprised. The word "fuck" can be used to great effect in those instances.
I try it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw Jurassic World. Did not like it. It doesn't feel like it's going to be the last one. They're saying it's going to be the last one, but I don't think it is going to be, because this one's obviously making a killing. They're going to reboot it again and make
Jurassic trilogy or a Jurassic arc. So it's going to
be whatever. So it's maybe the third of the Jurassic World trilogy, but they're probably going to start another Jurassic something. So
Cretaceous.
But it does feel like Rise of Skywalker to me. So yeah. So. But I've been working on a couple of screenplays, and I've been watching the Full Moon library from the 90s to get ideas. So Tubi has like 95% of the Full Moon library.
Man, they
to
stepped
watch
up since the last time I checked in on it, because I think when MXC was on Tubi, John Riggs said something about it. So that's the last time I checked in. I was like, oh, MXC is a non-Canadian one, though. And
are you familiar with Full Moon, Tiger?
Full Moon? No.
Okay, Full Moon was like a direct-to-video production company. They were called Full Moon Entertainment back in the 90s. And they did like horror, sci-fi, fantasy, like low-budget movies. And they did like the Puppet Master movies. They did the Trancers movies, Subspecies.
Did they ever do Return of the Ninja?
No, that was canon.
Okay, because I just watched Return of the Ninja 3 for the first time. Phenomenal.
The one with the aerobics instructor gets possessed by the ninja?
I think so, yeah.
Yes, that movie is one of the best what the fuck movies I've ever seen.
I watched it and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. We watched that for my podcast. Awesome. No, but they do like these low-budget horror movies, and I've been on another YouTuber's channel, Retro Cult Home Video, and he's a huge Full Moon fan. He's like dedicated half of his channel to Full Moon, and he's been doing these live streams where we like talk about the movie and our experiences watching it in the 90s compared to like now and all that, and it kind of gave me an idea for one of the Full Moon movies. So I watched Puppet Master 4 and 5. I watched Bad Channels, Shadow Zone, Oblivion, which is like a sci-fi western. It predates Serenity by 2 decades, pretty much. No, actually, probably like 15 years.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So, like, we're talking like Aliens and Cowboys with Harrison Ford?
Yes. There's a shootout at the beginning of Oblivion. There's two Oblivion movies. There's part 1, and then there's Backlash Oblivion 2. The first movie starts off with what's her name? The original Catwoman is in it. Not Eartha Kitt. Julie Newmar. And she's like a hooker at the bar, and she rounds and makes cat noises all the time. She's flirting with the sheriff, and he gets called out by a lizard alien guy to do like a showdown out in the street, and there's like a shootout. It's really funny.
Oh man,
it's kind of half tongue in cheek and half trying to be like a real movie.
Wicked.
But it's really clever. But yeah, I've been watching a whole shitload of those. Some of them are good, some of them are really bad.
I don't mind something being bad as long as it's something you can make fun of. Or
most of them are like that.
Bad is good. So
yeah, there's some of them that have like no budget and they end up being pretty entertaining because they had to find creative ways around not having money. And then the ones that have the most money are the ones where you're like, what the fuck is this? Wow. So yeah, I've been writing a screenplay for what could possibly be like a Full Moon movie. I have no intention of doing anything with it. I'm just writing it for fun. But yeah, I've been watching all those movies to get ideas and get the vibe and all that kind of stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm actually
I gotta check them out.
Yeah, speaking of our buddy Mo, he was on one of our previous episodes, actually, one of our guests. And
you're supposed to be on his show too.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on the show probably sometime this week. We're gonna try to work it out. He's like,
watching Seed People.
Yeah, so I'll check that out. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, now that because yeah, he mentioned Tubi, and I went on there. I was like, man, last time I was on here, there was a couple movies that I was like, oh, I
Yeah.
could throw this on while I'm doing something, but it wasn't amazing. And I'm like, wow, this is free. I mean, there's like it's one of
They
those
have the
ones where,
commercials, but yeah.
but they're tastefully done. They're not like every 2-3 minutes. It's like
No, it's like every like half an hour.
Yeah, half
Yeah.
hour. I'm like, I can do that. So
Yeah, when it comes to like the full moon stuff, Tubi has all the transfer movies except for the first. They have all the subspecies movies. Subspecies are awesome. Those are awesome vampire movies.
yeah.
They have.
If there's one movie from Full Moon that I just have to check out, which one is it?
Dr. Mordred.
Okay.
It's like their version of a superhero movie because they were going to make a Doctor Strange movie back in the early 90s and then they lost the license, but they had all the pre-production done. So they just like created a new character. So it's basically a Doctor Strange movie without Doctor Strange. And it's actually really well done.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
So yeah, if you watch Dr. Mordred, that would be my introduction and it also is that one of the movie that they made that had the highest budget. So
Interesting.
that's one of the ones I actually own on Blu-ray. That one's a lot of fun. That one's probably my favorite.
I'll have to check it out too. All right.
So yeah, that's about what I've been watching.
Hell,
Other than like Obi Wan and Strange New Worlds and the Orville and all that.
we'll talk about those in due time.
Yeah.
But stuff for me, mostly just I don't know stuff for work. Besides Obi Wan, Miss Marvel, stuff like that. I just finished watching a movie called Mad God last night, and it was kind of a blind watch. I saw it on the site that I watch movies on at work, and I was like, oh, that looks cool. I'll have to add that to. Maybe I'll check that out later. And mainly, I was catching up on my other stuff first, and then I went on like Facebook, like a day or two later, and I was like, huh, cool. That's a movie I was thinking of checking out, and I knew next to nothing about it. Even after seeing something about it on Facebook, I just saw someone saying it was over the top and weird, but it's stop. I'd say it's 95% stop motion animated movie. I can't even say it's a story. It's more of like an experience or a journey. I'm not a stoner or anything, even though I look the part. But I would say if I was to like eat an edible or something, I'd want to watch that movie because it's just amazing.
Yeah, that movie's been in the making for decades.
Yeah, and if you told like it's brand new, I think it came out in 2021.
Yeah.
But if you told me it came out in 1981, I'd believe you too, because it's got kind of a retro feel to it. It's really cool, like a post-apocalyptic turn on it. I can't even describe what happens in it. It's just wow, just really cool visuals the whole time. And yeah, you just kind of go on a journey, but there's no climactic battle or anything. It's just a really cool movie that I recommend checking out if you like the art form of stop motion. It's really cool. It looked like something you'd think it'd be like a music video almost, but it was like an hour and a half long. So
like an old Tool music video.
yeah, basically, or like something from like a Pink Floyd video or something. Like that's why I was like, yeah, I bet you, yeah. So if you like to partake in marijuana, you might want to watch that with
in the drugs.
I don't know, guys. I just saw Saved by the Bell, so I'm clean.
Yeah.
Yeah. We thought you were cool. I guess not.
Yeah.
I'm so scared.
Yeah, so it was a really oddball thing to watch. Besides, I watched stuff like Scanners. I watched that the other night.
Oh god, that is the best exploding head ever.
Like 5 minutes in, yeah.
Yeah.
Still good.
I didn't do that. No, the best part is when the guy who blew up the guy's head looks at him and goes, I didn't do that.
I didn't believe it. No one believed him. Yeah, I've watched a couple cool things, but mainly I've just been keeping up on the shows. I watched the South Park Streaming Wars movies. I guess you know how they got that Paramount Plus contract to make like 12 movies, so they're basically making like double episodes and calling them a movie. Yeah. But it was pretty funny. It's pretty funny to watch that the other night.
There's a movie that they got coming out on Paramount Plus that we could talk about later.
The Beavis and Butthead one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good. It comes out in
Beavis and Butthead do the universe.
as of recording, it comes out in 5 days. So by the time
Yeah.
you see this, it probably comes out today because
Yeah.
I'm slow at editing. Yeah. So I mean, I was a big Beavis and Butthead fan back in the day. We'll see if they hold up. But
So I missed out on Beavis and Butthead. I think it was just a little bit before my time, and I love Mike Judge though. I think he is so genius with like doing humor based off everyday occurrences that just is like he spins it so it's so funny. So I am a huge King of the Hill fan. I love that series.
No, Bobby.
Apparently, it's coming back. So I'm like,
I've been hearing that for about
nervous
2 years.
excited for it.
Yeah, I've been hoping because they brought Beavis and Butthead back a couple of years ago for like a season or something, and I didn't really care. I caught like one episode of it, but
yeah, it was okay.
Back in the day, I gotta say, I watched King of the Hill pretty often, but I didn't appreciate it as much as I do now. And it seems to be coming on TV more. I don't know. I mean, maybe where you guys are, it never left, but for a while, it was just kind of like, hey, what happened to King of the Hill? Used to, we got. They can play old episodes of The Simpsons for the 10,000th time. Can we? And then all of a sudden it's on Adult Swim now. So I'm like, oh. So we've been watching it more. I'm like, I really didn't appreciate the show as much as I should have back in the day. I never shit on it, but I was like, I missed the show more than I realized I did when I started watching it again. So yeah, definitely. Mike Judge also does a really cool. I can't remember what the name of the series is, but it's like a documentary about bands, and it's like animated. Like his style of animation is on there, so I'd recommend checking that out. He does like all types of old bands, rock bands. I think there's a Rick James episode, if I remember correctly. But yeah, there's
clap for me.
It's some really cool stuff. I just stumbled upon that a couple months ago, and actually, now that I'm remembering it, I'm gonna have to watch more of it because I think I only watched the one episode, but it was really cool. It was called like It was like I think it was called like Tour Bus something, like Tour Bus Chronicles or some shit like that. But it was it was pretty cool, and I just saw his name and I was like, I'm in, because as a fan, I'm also a big fan of Mike Judge. So I'm hoping Beavis and Butthead comes back and doesn't feel like a relic or anything. I hope it feels cool.
Hey, but maybe it has electrolytes because it's what plants crave.
Good old idiot. Besides that, just been watching shows. So we're gonna talk a bit about some shows.
Sure.
All right. Well, Kenobi. I gotta talk about Kenobi first. What are your thoughts? I like it a lot so far.
I like it a lot too.
A lot of negativity, as you always see with Star Wars. So I'm like, I just want to gauge with like-minded people. Because I always hear about like, oh, this got a bad rap. Like
I go into everything with an open mind. I'm not sitting there going like, oh, it has to be this and it has to be that if it's from an established franchise that I like.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
I watch stuff with an open mind, and I guess I don't know. Even stuff I really like, I'm like, if I don't like it, I'm just not going to watch it again.
Yeah,
I'm not going to throw a big baby tantrum about something if it's not
exactly what I want. Time. You only have so much time in the day. Spend it doing something you like doing. If you don't like the show, don't watch it.
My main thing I don't like about the show so far is some of the episode lengths are just too short.
Yeah.
Episode 4, I was just like, oh, I'm going to pause this and go grab something to eat because I was working on something.
And then it's over.
And then I paused it and it said 2 minutes left. And I was like, oh, well, fuck. I guess I'll just watch it then. It was like 35 minutes. I was like, if you're going to have 6 episode seasons, make them shits at least an hour.
From what I understand, the next episode is like an hour and a half.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So see, I didn't rage about it on the internet, so I didn't embarrass myself. So
I think it was really great that they didn't ruin a certain legacy character being a major character in the trailers and everything. They made you actually have to watch the show in order to see that character. Yeah, they didn't Terminator. Terminator Genesis it. But yeah, having like Kid Leia show up in it, I was just like, okay. And she's not annoying.
Yeah.
And she's really likable.
Like And I watch a lot of the Disney Plus shows, and I'm one of those like wait till the season's over guy. But Disney Plus has kind of broken me of that, and it's also kind of pissing me off that it's breaking everyone else of that because also right now, The Boys season 3 is on.
I really want to check out The Boys.
Definitely, dude.
First episode of season 3. Things happen.
Yeah, my wife is a fan of the show, and she tapped out the first episode. But I just gotta say, power through that scene, and
it's nasty.
Good.
It looks like an awesome show. I've always been interested in that.
Yeah, I was a big fan of the comics.
You thought it was dark before. It's dark now. It's like super dark.
I definitely recommend checking it out. But as I was saying, like season 1 and season 2, when the season came out. You didn't have to wait till next week. But this year, season 3, a couple episodes came out at first, and then weekly drops. And I'm like, I don't want to wait.
That's what I'm doing. I'm just waiting until it's all out so I can binge it.
Yeah, because like the other ones, I'd watch it, and then when I wanted to watch some more of it, I'd watch it again. Like I watched the first 2 seasons at least twice. So that's the thing is like, even when I was like, I'd collect comics more, I'd be like, oh, it's part 1 of an arc. Okay. And I wouldn't even read it. I would get it and I'd get all the parts of the arc, and then I'd read it all. So that's what I generally do for shows. I like to find a show that's on its last season and then start watching it. And then
that's exactly what I do. What I do. I refuse to watch any like current shows because I like to binge them when they're done.
Yeah. So that's why I'm kind of done with. I'm not really. Yeah. This isn't really exactly a complaint on Kenobi. It's a complaint in general that I'm tired of shows having 6-episode seasons. That's not a season.
This wasn't really called a show. This was more called like an event series.
Yeah,
I think was the word they were using for it.
Give us more.
Yeah, well, from what I understand, because the first episode had the most views of anything Disney Plus has released so far, they already gave it a second season.
Wow,
good, or you mean they could give it the rest of a season? Okay,
yeah. Yeah, they broke it in half. Yes,
I was like, even like 9 episodes is like something like. So far, that seems to be their model: 6-episode seasons or 9-episode seasons. With their with like What If and WandaVision, they did 9 episodes. And as we were saying with Moon Knight, it should have been one of those 9-episode ones because it felt like it just got going and it was already like trying to wrap up. So that's why I don't like it. And the short episodes, I feel like action's just starting to get going. And then they like got to figure out how to, leave it on a cliffhanger for the next episode. I'm like, that's why the shorter episodes kind of bug me. It's like, well, we're just getting somewhere. I feel like I'm watching a movie through a keyhole, and then someone keeps standing in the way. Come on, let's just see all of it. So, yeah. That's the only thing that bugs me. I'm like, yeah, if you're going to have shorter episodes, have more episodes. Or if you're going to have like a 6-episode season, every one of those shits should be at least an hour. But, yeah. And I'm just from the get-go, I've been kind of hit and miss on it. I'm like, I like something to look forward to every week, but also I want it all now. I want to watch it all. I don't want. When I wait for something to come out, I want it to. I'll be. I'd be like if you watched a movie and they're like it was part. You're like watching DLCs. You're like, I want to watch it all right now. But that's what it is. Overall, I'm really liking the story.
They had a nice last episode they released had a really cool twist.
Yeah, so seeing some flashback stuff was cool too. It seems you can say what you want about how Disney has handled Star Wars in general, and there's definitely been some missteps, some huge missteps. But I think as far as their portrayal of Vader, they've been awesome. Like Vader's
I thought it was kind of cool that in Rogue One they had Vader do the most awesome stuff he's ever done in any movie, even like the original trilogy.
Oh,
exactly.
Yeah.
The hallway scene.
That whole scene where he's just throwing people around and just annihilating everybody. He's like, he didn't do anything like that in the original trilogy.
Now you know why people are scared of
awesome.
him.
Yeah, I'm like, that's awesome. Now I'm like, holy shit, Vader's a badass.
Which is what I was hoping the Book of Boba Fett was going to do for Boba Fett, rather than just like that
make him
guy's
cool.
a badass. he managed to track.
Why? He got killed by a blind man who threw him into a giant sand vagina.
Well, really, because if you didn't, because it was one of those things like when you were like, Boba Fett's a badass, believe me. You had to be like, read this book, play this game, see he's a badass, rather than just like.
Why couldn't they just make him a badass in the movie?
I saw the movie. He looked cool, and then got offed by like someone who couldn't even see.
Yeah,
you know, the most badass thing he actually does in the movie.
He was the butt of a joke, basically.
Was like he managed to track the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
So it was like one of the most unjustified badass.
Yeah, he pretended to be garbage.
unless you read books. Like I've always been a fan, so I'm guilty of that too. But so I was hoping Boba Fett, Book of Boba Fett come out and you'd be like, yeah, see what a badass. I don't feel like when you get upstaged by the better Mandalorian in your own show.
Yeah, and then halfway through the season, they turned it into the Mandalorian season 2.5.
And like, he doesn't even like the reason he stood out. The reason why everyone's not like Dengar is the biggest badass is because
he looks like the mummy.
He was the coolest looking of that lineup, and everyone's like, "What's this guy all about?" And he, he's the cool armor and shit. But besides that. And he doesn't even barely wear the fucking helmet the whole.
And he's got the dad bod.
Yeah, it doesn't do a whole lot of. He just kind of, just kind of a dummy. He's more of a politician in the show than a badass. I was like, he was more of a badass in The Mandalorian. So, yeah. So that's when like The Mandalorian came out. I was like, I don't give a shit about Boba Fett anymore. And then when I heard that Book of Boba Fett was coming out, I was like, well, hopefully Mandalorian's in it. But yeah, anyway, a little off topic, but still on topic, sorry. But yeah, we're really liking that show. Hopefully the last episode holds up and I end up really looking forward to season 2.
Yeah. They need to start putting some old age makeup on the guy because six? I think it's six or 7 more years story wise is when he looks like Ben did in the original movie.
I think it's 9.
Yeah, this takes place 10 years after episode 3.
Owen looks slightly older than he did.
Yeah, he looks. Yeah, and Obi Wan just looks like he has like a dad. He's almost got dad bod, but like they need to start putting gray in his hair or something.
What they really got to do for continuation's sake is explain why the hell Baru is wearing a 70s jean pantsuit for no reason. that always bugs me. That's always bugged me since the first time I saw Star Wars. Was why the fuck is everyone else in these fantastical clothing and futuristic stuff, and then this bitch is just wearing this denim pantsuit straight out of
in the desert.
Like she walked like they were shooting in 2 minutes, and she's like, "Sorry, I'm late," and they're like, "Fuck, just get the set."
Get costume. Get in here.
We'll fix it.
They got that.
And then
don't forget the original Star Wars didn't have a big budget. They probably got it at the Salvation Army or something.
Yeah, it was like someone else's mom was Cassie's Brew, and she was just bringing muffins that day, and they're like, "Perfect, her." Just I don't know.
Bringing muffins.
I was reading Anthony Daniels' autobiography, and he was talking about when they were filming the Tatooine scenes, and like the village that they went to, and he like found out that the movie producers, they were at this like really weird village, and this village was extremely poor, and they could only pay this village so much money because if they paid them anything more, it would like destroy their economy, like of what they had. And so they're like, we paid them $2 a day, and that's all we could do to like film like in their huts and stuff. So it was just like crazy to think like wherever they were shooting was so poor that they couldn't pay them actual money, or else it would blow up their economy.
Now they're like, shit, $5 a day? You could have asked for $5 a day?
I know.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Sally Struthers was always talking about them.
Damn.
For $2 a day.
So Jason, you were talking about Star Wars books. So I was a huge Star Wars nerd as a kid. Still am, like, to this day a little bit, but I loved the Han Solo trilogy in books. Did you ever read those?
I think I had all three of them, but I know I read the first one. But yeah, there was some really
so good.
there
I
were
love that trilogy.
I gotta say, almost thank you to George Lucas for the prequels, because it kind of dick punched my Star Wars love a bit and kept it in check. Because then all this shit behind me would have just been Star Wars stuff. Because I was like all the way in on it, and I picked up more books than I could possibly read, and I still have them somewhere. But yeah, I was big in the books. I might have read all three of them, but I definitely remember at least reading the first one. There was some really good stuff.
Which one had the blobstacle cores?
What?
I don't remember.
I think it was that. Oh Jesus, Jedi Academy series or something.
Maybe.
Oh, was that with Obi Wan as like a teenager?
No, it's like a sequel to the original trilogy. There was like the Thrawn trilogy, which I read, and then there was another trilogy that came out after that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what it was called.
I read a bunch of like one-off books too.
So
I
that was something.
I remember one called Dark Empire I really liked.
Yeah, Dark Empire, the comic books. Yeah,
Shadows of the Empire. I read
there was one book where they said that Admiral Akbar had a moist charisma.
Oh,
yeah.
Someone wrote that.
I would have ripped that page out and forgot about it really quick.
So we were talking like a little bit before this started about like my thoughts on Star Wars today and like Disney.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll never like trash anyone for like loving Star Wars now or whatever. It's just not really my taste. But something that I feel kind of made it like that was I didn't like that Disney was like, all right, all that stuff that was canon before, not happening. Like that didn't happen. And then like so like all the books that I read, it's like, oh, that stuff didn't.
It's
happen
legends now.
Yeah, I was like, I don't really like that. Like I was looking when the Han Solo movie was coming out, I was like, holy shit, they're finally gonna make a movie from the books that I used to read 1,000 times, and it was nothing to do with that. And I was like, what happened? I was so pumped for that. But
yeah,
I loved Rogue One. I thought like, you guys were talking about that scene of like Darth Vader doing like the hallway scene. I had goosebumps watching that. I was like, oh, finally, like
my problem with Force Awakens was that it felt to me like more like a remake of the original Star Wars.
Yeah, it was Member Berries, the movie. Remember the Millennium Falcon?
And I remember before I saw it, I kept on saying like, okay, like they don't have this like pre-existing story that they have to tell like with the prequels, because you kind of knew what was going to happen there. Yeah. So they had to get from point A to point B to get from point D to point F. Yeah. So like with the sequel trilogy, they can do whatever the hell they wanted, and they didn't.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see something new. So when I saw Rogue One, I was like, that was it. Yes. That was the one. That's made a fucking Vietnam War movie in Star Wars land. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they stopped and like they realize it can be just about a small group of people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Not everything needs to be a galactic threat. Like, yeah, the Death Star was a looming huge threat they were trying to prevent. But it wasn't like that's what it feels like the numbered movies have become. It always has to be like concerning the whole galaxy. You know, like, no, I like when it's just a little band of ruffians and some shit's going on. Like,
that's another reason why I really like Solo. Yeah, I really like Solo because of that too. And that was another thing where I was like, oh, they made a Star Wars heist movie. Yeah. That's awesome. I have not seen this before.
And I also thought the actors they chose, like Donald Glover as Lando, was really
good. Yeah. I cannot wait for that Lando show.
And
they're making a Lando show?
Yeah, with Donald Glover. Yep.
Huh.
I think I saw I think it was just a tweet or something like a week ago, and I was saying I would love for, like if the Lando show was something like him just telling stories at like a gambling table.
Oh yeah, and you have Billy D doing it.
Yeah, you could have like
the Mos Eisley Cantina.
Yeah, Billy D, and then like him acting it out. And then someone calling him on his bullshit, like that's not how it happened. And then it would be like,
and then it rewinds. Yeah,
because he embellishes a bit.
They could do so many cool things with that.
And you can make it like one-off. You could make it one-off stories too. Like you could
like little anthology things, like little adventures that Lando had when he was young, kind of thing.
Yeah, so a Greedo episode.
Yeah,
exactly. Like I would say out of all the things I like, Star Wars is my most like reserved fandom because of I either like it or I don't like it. But if I don't like it, get mad about it. I don't
No.
I don't threaten the actors. I don't. You know,
Yeah. I don't review bomb it on websites and shit.
I just
Yeah,
go.
that stuff's
Oh,
all
wasn't with
douchey.
me.
Like,
So
I'll
it's the word.
let people enjoy what they want to enjoy. Like, if you
Yeah.
guys love the new Star Wars, fuck yeah, that's awesome for you guys. I'm just not going to spend my time doing that. I'll just do something that I enjoy and let bygones be bygones.
If it's not something that's being shitty to other people, go ahead and like it. Like,
Yeah,
you can like whatever you like as long as it's not some freaking racist shit or some other shit like that. You know, something like that. Like, yeah, I'll obviously trash that. But you liked the Star Wars movie that I didn't particularly like. I'll tell you why I don't like it if someone wants to have a conversation, but I won't be like, "How could you enjoy that? Stop having fun." You know,
I know,
like,
that's the conversations I have with my brother.
yeah, like
it's like, but that was so bad. I'm like, I didn't think it was that bad.
I've loved stuff. You know, if I went by reviews and people tell me things are terrible, some of my favorite things I never would have saw. Some of the games I never would have played. So
exactly.
just like you saying, everyone trashing on Days Gone.
Yeah.
I heard the review saying it was all trash. People on YouTube bandwagoning on it, and then I talked to my actual friend who was playing it, and he's like, "I like it."
Yeah,
I watched somebody stream some of it, and I was like, "That looks pretty fun. I'll pick it up when it's discounted."
Yeah, it seems like we're not trying to be champions of the downtrodden, but I'm on the game tenants. It's almost like once a year there was like this universally panned game that Church and I would always be like, it's actually good if you play it. I don't know what you guys are expecting. Everyone was dumping on Fallout 76, and we're like, I don't know, we're playing it, we're enjoying it. I don't know. And everyone's jumping on Cyberpunk, and I was like, I haven't got. I don't know. I must be getting an upgraded copy that you guys didn't get because I'm not getting all these glitches. I'm not getting.
Yeah,
all this.
I didn't get glitches.
But, I don't know, man. I always seem to I'm just lucky like that, or I don't let little tiny things bother me. I don't like frame rate and shit sometimes. Like if I'm bitching about frame rate, count on it being like 3 frames a second where I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
But really,
one of the games that I just bought last week for $5 brand new. It was like on an Amazon deal. I've heard nothing but terrible things about this game, but I was like, it's $5. I'm gonna try it anyway.
Yeah.
Balan Wonderlands. Have you guys played this?
Yeah, I have it for the PS5. I actually bought that for like $10 on Amazon. And they ended up sending me an extra copy, so I gave Mike my extra copy to Church.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I got it on a pretty deep clearance at my local Walmart too for Xbox. So yeah, I've heard, like I said, I heard people shitting all over it, but then people, I always try to find the like-minded people. That if they're not friends of mine, I'll find someone who likes things I like for the reasons that I like it. So I go, okay, that's probably kind of how I'd think about it. So yeah, that's why we'd never go by reviews. If I want to play it, your review is going to have to be like really bad. And then my friend has to also be like, dude, okay, I know I like this too. We're into this. We were soaked for this. Please don't spend your money on this. Then I'd be like, all right, you know what? Maybe I'll wait till it's cheap. But if I'm that interested, I probably already have it. So,
well, do you guys remember Knack on the PS4?
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah. Okay, so that was a launch game for the PS4, and everyone trashed it.
Mm-hmm.
And now that the PS5's out, people are going back and going like, "Remember Knack? Knack wasn't so bad.
Yeah,
it's actually pretty fun." And same thing. I know I haven't, but I know a bunch of people that have gone back and played it now, and they're like, "That actually was pretty fun." I don't know what people are complaining about. I have a feeling that Balan Wonderworld is going to be the PS5's Knack. Where it's like everyone bashed it because it was a launch title and it didn't represent what they thought PS5 was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And they're going to go back and play it like 5 or 6 years down the road and be like, it wasn't that bad. I don't remember what the complaining was about.
I don't know where some of these bad reviews come for games because I think they like get a guy who doesn't like these kind of games to play it.
Yeah.
Thinking that, they'll be more objective. But like, yeah, they'll be more objective for some things. Like it's not going to be all hype. But other things are going to be like, I hated this. And you're like, oh, not a fan of this genre? I didn't like that there was collectibles. That's that kind of game, man. Or something like that, Like,
it looked like a Banjo-Kazooie kind of game to me.
Yeah. Sorry, what were you saying, Tiger?
I was just gonna say that I see Knack all the time at like the retro game store that I go to for $5, and I haven't gotten it because, like you guys said, like it got trashed so bad. I'm like scared of it. But hearing, it's hearing you guys say it might not be that bad. I'm like, all right, I should.
Yeah,
go.
Captain Algebra just beat it. He did like I just beat it this weekend kind of thing.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
And he's like, yeah, no, he beat the second one, but he said he also played the first one. He really liked the first one too.
he beat the first
That
one.
was
I
what
think
it was. He
last year
beat the second
sometime.
one. Yeah, and it's like, yeah, I played NEC. It's fun. It was like a first generation PS4 game. What were you expecting?
Yeah.
Like
You
when
know. The Second Coming. I'm like, I don't get it.
I always get a game for what I figure I want the money's worth out of. You know, like if I see a game, it's $5. I'm not going to hold it to the same regard as a game I paid $80 for.
Yeah.
If I got $5 worth of fun out of it, good. But you know, that's why I think I'm holding off on all these other games that are like, you know, the limited run things. I'm like, yeah, I don't see $200 of value there. I don't see like with the retro games exploding and being ridiculously high now. Like some of them are already high or like unobtainable high. That's kind of what's holding me back from that, especially in the area I live where there's not a lot of potential to catch someone slipping. And I think I've bought the whole area out of retro games. So that's the way I kind of look at a game. I'm like, yeah, it's not a game I want right now. It's on my radar for when it goes cheap. And I'm not saying every game has to be $5 or something before I finally pick it up. Like I'll pick that up when I'm not paying $80 for that. I'll pick it up for $30 or whatever. Like, you know, I kind of put a price on what I think it's going to be worth to me. Some games are like, I got to get that right away. I'm not waiting for that.
Yeah, I want the Quarry. I'm not going to pay $70 for it.
Yeah, that game looks sweet.
I'll wait. Yeah, I'll wait.
Yeah, I go. It's either right now or it's dump in. Basically, what I call it, the dump ins. You know, when they don't have to be behind glass because they're only half price or whatever. Now that's kind of how I do. Especially to a higher degree now. I'm being more picky with stuff. It seems last little bit, but we'll see how that stays when I'm traveling again more. But on to another thing I wasn't as nearly as hyped for, but I like it a bit more than I was expecting. So what are your thoughts on Miss Marvel?
It's a little too Nickelodeon for me, I guess.
It's a character I don't like. I didn't care about. I played the Avengers game. I didn't like her in that.
I like how they adapted her powers, so it's not like she's a plastic woman.
Yeah, she's not Mr. Fantastic because there's already going to be a Mr. Fantastic. That's what I think I didn't like about her. It's like there's nothing new about her except for they were like, oh, we need a new character because I'm all for them trying to be more inclusive and having like, oh, there's more. We don't have very many teenager characters anymore. We don't have any, many characters of this race and this situation and stuff. I'm glad that they're, it's not just a bunch of white dudes all the time. So only white guys are like, oh, I look up to, Captain America and stuff. But it's just a character I don't find interesting in the game. It's for the same reason I don't like I didn't get into Harry Potter and stuff. Like for a long time, I refused to even watch it. It's because I'm not a kid anymore. So I don't get into. But I know, looking around me, you'd be like, that shit says otherwise. But I can't get into movies.
Such a hypocrite.
I can't get into movies and shit where kids are the main character. I just don't identify with the character that way. If I grew up with Miss Marvel, I'd probably be like, oh, cool. Because I'm like, yeah, she's starts off as just this huge Avengers fangirl and all that. I'm like, I get that. But I just, I grew up with Spider-Man, so the fact that he was like a teenager was fine. He was actually older than me when I started watching it and stuff like that. But I'm like, I don't care about that. And then like she doesn't seem like that. Like we said, she's basically Mr. Fantastic in a different package, and I see that as redundant. It's like having a purple thing. You're like, oh, it's the thing, but it's slightly different. Like we already have the thing. I don't know, something like that. But the show, I guess I think I like the first episode more than the second episode so far.
I think the actress that plays her is playing the shit out of her.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
She is so enthusiastic, and it's like kind of catchy.
She's playing herself too. I don't know if you've seen any interviews with her, but she is
like
a
super excitable. Yeah,
she's a massive Avengers fan. So
yeah,
she's playing herself. But so I think that's cool. I like the show. Her character in the show I like more than I liked it in any of the comics I've seen her in, and any of the game and stuff. But I'm getting a heavy Scott Pilgrim vibe from the cinematography of it all, the way they tell the story, and it's half animated when she starts daydreaming and stuff. I always think that kind of shit's cool. But yeah, I'm just kind of lukewarm on the series overall, but I think it's. Yeah.
I'm just gonna wait to see where it goes.
Her powers are definitely cooler in the show. I'll say that.
Yeah,
you were saying. She's got. I want to say it's almost like a Green Lantern-ish
almost
power, where she can. She projects.
She does the same. Yeah, she does the same things. It's like she wants to stretch out her arm to grab somebody that's falling. It's like this crystal kind of glass version of her hand that comes out.
So I like I think that was a good decision. People were complaining about it, but I'm like, I get where they're going because Fantastic Four is right around the corner. We've already seen Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards in Doctor Strange, so they just don't want too many of the same character, basically. So I like that.
If she ends up in an Avengers movie and a new one with Mr. Fantastic, it's like, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Like you're having another Spider-Man.
Turn one of them into spaghetti.
We don't. Yeah. At first, I was like, oh, I don't get it. But then, like, I read up on it because they had this whole event where all these people had Spider-Man powers. I was like, that makes Spider-Man less cool. He's not unique anymore. There's 10 different people with Spider-Man powers. Like I don't know. I didn't get it. But yeah. So the show so far. Thumbs up, but I can tell I'm not exactly the target audience either.
Yeah,
like it's for MCU fans for sure. It's going to tie in. Don't worry about that. But I feel like it's also targeted at a younger audience, so I give it more passes than I would generally give one of the other hero shows or something. So here's hoping it gets gold. It's interesting so far. I'll say that it's got my interest.
Yeah, I like the actors in it are really fun.
I was expecting not to give a shit, and I give more of a shit than none. So that's positive. Yeah, like when they announced the lineup of all the shows coming out, I think the ones that I was most stoked for are already out. But I'm always interested in more superhero shit. I'm all about the superhero shit.
Yeah.
But yeah. The last one I want to talk about right now is The Boys. So Tiger said he's really looking in to checking the show out. So I don't want to spoil anything. So we'll do spoiler free. But definitely check it out. It's ultra violent. It's ultra gore. It's basically, what if superheroes were real, and they were dickheads? What were they? If they were basically just dickheads, and they kind of use their powers not always for good, and they weren't as good as.
What if superheroes were like owned by corporations, kind of thing?
Yeah. What if they were? Yeah, basically. What if they weren't as squeaky clean as they appear on the pages or on screen?
What happens when Superman gets mad?
They're basically, they're nice on TV, but are they really nice in real life?
Have you guys seen the Slipknot video, Solway Firth? I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yep.
Yeah, so that is like tied into The Boys somehow. I don't know, but they play the clips from The Boys a lot, and so that like made me really interested in seeing the series. So, like, this looks really dark and gory. Like, this looks badass.
It's also really funny.
Yeah,
it's
got funny. Yeah. It's funny. It's over top. It's what the fuck. It's all the things you want to see in Marvel, but they won't do it. They don't have the balls to do it. So it's kind of like unhinged Marvel and DC. The characters are.
Do you think this is a series that will continue for a couple more seasons, or?
Okay.
I can see it going.
They've already given it the green light for season 4.
Okay.
It's it's based on a comic series that's written by one of my favorite.
Is that Garth Ennis?
Right, yeah, Garth Ennis. He writes. I don't know if you've ever heard of Preacher. It's
I've
another
heard of
show that
Preacher.
Preacher's
Yeah, he got his own show too.
It's got about 10 seasons. It's very much in the vein. It's also written by Garth Ennis. He's excellent. He's one of my favorite. He has done some writing for like Marvel and DC. Like he did a Punisher series, and it's, you know, you're always like, oh, the Punisher, he kills people all the time. But then you read the comics and you're like, he doesn't really kill that many people. He's like trying to kill people, just injures them. You know, this is it's more like the Punisher in the first Punisher movie, the Thomas Jane Punisher movie, not the very first, not the Dolph Lundgren, but the Thomas Jane Punisher, where he like, yeah, it's kind of, people die, but it's not super gory. And then you see Punisher Warzone, and it's like
him just shooting rocket launchers at people.
Yeah. So I'd say the Punisher Warzone movie was more like what Garth Ennis is writing, is like real, like gritty, realistic. Yeah, he kills these guys. He kills the shit out of these guys.
I love how he
creatively
kills rocket launcher at kids doing parkour.
There's gore, there's gore and all that shit. I like that. So if you want, a more gritty based, realistic superhero show, I highly recommend The Boys. It's one of my favorite shows.
I am all in.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Just like be prepared. It can be a little overwhelming the way they go over the top a few times. It's just like, I can't believe they actually did that kind of stuff. You know?
Yeah.
Like the first episode of season 3, I was just like, what?
I love that it's an homage to a popular meme too. I'm not gonna say anything, but
it's just what?
A popular meme got acted out in a different way.
I'm sure my neighbors knew exactly what I was watching by my reaction, because I pretty much screamed at the top of my lungs, like, what the fuck?
Like I said, my wife is a big fan of the show. We watched the first 2 seasons together. She tapped out, and that's about 5 minutes into the first episode of this season. We're now on episode 5, and I think it's shaping up to be like one of the best seasons yet. So awesome.
Nice.
Each season, I think, gets better than the last.
I mean,
awesome.
yeah. It's really, I got no complaints about that show.
Yeah.
So definitely looking forward to seeing where it goes. Homelander is just awesome. Like Anthony Starr's portrayal of, I mean, not as a person, he's a piece of shit, but he's like one of the most perfectly cast characters I've seen in a long time. Like,
and now they got the anti-Captain America character in there.
Yeah, basically, like, you can tell, like, that guy is supposed to be this, but they can't say his name. Like, this guy is obviously Superman, but what if Superman was a dickhead?
Yeah,
this
guy's Captain America. What if he's a dick?
That's obviously Wonder Woman.
Yeah, here's Wonder Woman.
Yeah, but I will really want to hear your reaction when you start watching it. Let me know what you think.
Yeah, it looks so up my alley for like what I like. So I need to jump into it soon.
Yeah, and like I said, I wish they were doing this season like they did the previous 2, where they just dropped the whole season. I can binge it at my leisure. But it's 8 episodes, and the 5th is out already, so it'll be no time. 3 more weeks. So by the time you watch 1 and 2, 3 should be done too. So
cool,
plenty of watching. There's also the spin-off animated series. Have you checked out any of that, Chris?
No, I have not. I keep forgetting. It's one of those things I keep forgetting about. I have it on my queue on Amazon, but I always forget that it's there, and I always end up putting like a movie on or something.
My wife and I watch. I think there's 8 episodes of that, 2 or 6 episodes. Either way, we watched like 4 of them in a row one night, and then I just kind of forgot we didn't watch them all. I keep remembering at work, and I'm like, it's the only thing I hate about watching a show with someone else is you got to wait for them to be ready to watch a show with you. So it's like, stay awake and watch this with me. so especially when it's something I'm stoked about. That's why my wife still doesn't watch The Mandalorian, is because I was like too excited, and she wasn't available the day it came out, and I was like, fuck you, I'm watching it. And then I was like, it's good. And I'm not someone who's like, watch this part, and like, psychs you up on it. I could just watch it again like I've never seen it. But she was like, no, go ahead and watch it now. And now I'm like, oh, man. but worth it because if you watch The Mandalorian, it is awesome. Have you ever checked out Mandalorian yet, Tiger?
No, I haven't. I've heard good stuff about it, and I think it could be some potential that I'd definitely like it. It's Boba Fett, right? Not Jango.
No, it's
a totally new character.
Completely different character.
Oh,
yeah, it's a completely new character.
It's a different Mandalorian altogether. Yeah.
Yeah, it takes place like
I gotta say,
5 years after Return of the Jedi, so the Empire's like kind of like on the way out.
Okay.
And it's pretty awesome. It is pretty awesome.
That's pretty sick, man.
I gotta say, it seems like we've got very similar ideas on what we like about Star Wars, what we dislike about Star Wars, and I gotta say, you're gonna kick yourself from not having watched sooner. So maybe when you're done with the boys, check out Mando.
Mandalorian is so cool.
It's my favorite things they've done with Star Wars. Like if you like Rogue One.
Yeah, I love Rogue One.
Yeah,
I think you'll love it. Yeah.
Okay, so I want to ask you guys.
Western in Star Wars.
I want to ask you guys this question because this was like the moment that I was like, I think I'm done with Star Wars for a while. So I really want to get your guys' opinion on this moment. It's like episode 8. It's where Princess Leia is like floating in space, and then she like awakens and like
Mary
comes
Poppins?
back. Yeah,
Mary
like
Poppins,
what was your guys'? That's when I was like, all right, I'm out. I'm out. What'd you guys think of that?
I did think that was I do really like that movie, but that part I thought was kind of cheesy.
Yeah.
Everyone dogs
but like I always took it as like the Force kind of took over because like her hand just kind of like reacted and pulled her back. But I was like, at the same time, I was just kind of like, you're frozen. That was one of those. I honestly thought that was like because Carrie Fisher had died before that movie came out, and I was like, is this how they're getting rid of her character?
And that's what I thought too. I was like, all right, I guess she's gone.
Yeah. That's what I was like. It was the perfect out. Maybe not the perfect execution of it, but I'm like, they could have been all right. Now we don't need to CG her in 7 more movies, kind of thing. I actually, right from the first time I saw it, everyone seems to dog on Last Jedi. I think it's way better than that because I think it's the product of 2 different people's visions, or at least 2 different directors' visions. Like they Force Awakens and Last Jedi, or Rise of Skywalker. Sorry, I don't know what I keep saying. Yeah, Rise of Skywalker are the same director, and it seems like in the middle they were like, no, we got to stir the pot, fuck that other guy's idea, and you're like, well, maybe like discuss this somewhere before you like have characters introduced in one movie and then they have nothing to do in the second movie, and then they're sort of important again in the third one. I think the perfect way to improve that movie is take Finn's entire storyline in the second one and delete it because it had no point. And then the Leia Space Mary Poppins part bothered me. Like, because every other part I didn't like about that movie was Finn's storyline. The weird Men in Black casino that didn't seem to fit in the Star Wars movie. It seemed more like a Men in Black scene or something. I
don't know. I really like that stuff because we've never seen where weapons and ships come from in that universe. We just assume that the rebels and the Empire are building them, and now we're seeing that there's like a black market for that kind of thing, and this is where all these people hang out.
Yeah, and you know how I always say about stuff when I can compartmentalize and I can enjoy things in a movie I otherwise don't like. There's also parts I really like in that movie. Mm-hmm. They also ruined Luke in that movie. I think that's pretty much generally agreed upon. But so yeah, that's why I kind of resent that movie in a lot of ways. And I'm not. Go ahead and enjoy it if you want, as we've said. But that's definitely my least favorite Star Wars movie out of all of them. It actually makes me almost appreciate the prequels more. It's so bad. I'm like, oh well, maybe these aren't so bad. Maybe I'll watch one of these instead. Coming from someone who learned a huge lesson in hype from episode 1, I had a stack of the figures, I had shirts, I had all this shit. Then I saw it and I was like, oh, good thing I have a little brother. Hey man, check these out. Yeah, I gave him.
Yeah, I bought all the action figures for episode 1. I the Kmart my mother worked at. She went and took, like, before they opened that day, she went and grabbed one of each and put them on layaway and all that. And then, like,
all the
you
Pepsi
couldn't get rid of
cans.
them. You couldn't get rid of them after that.
Remember
You
there
don't
was
want
like
them.
remember there was like 60 of the Pepsi cans and Mountain Dew and 7
Yeah.
Up.
Oh wow!
I
I actually had all those Pizza Hut cup topper things that they had.
Oh man,
I had
so
all of
much
those.
that-
I had all that shit.
You
nostalgia.
think I'd seen? You thought it was my favorite movie of all time at that point,
Yeah.
and then it came out, and I was like, "That race was kind of cool."
Yeah, the fight scene was the best part of that movie to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I guess it was cool, but like, did it need to be a whole movie? Yeah, it's like all I really remember.
It's like
yeah.
kids.
Like,
This is supposed to be a kids movie, but kids don't give a shit about trade embargoes.
and
Yeah.
that's what I like about video games is even the movies that I didn't like, I liked the games because the games were usually pretty good. Not all.
Yeah,
of them, but-
the game of Phantom Menace is actually pretty fun if you've ever played that.
Yeah,
and the
I
pod
have
the
that
pod
game.
racing,
I love that.
the pod racing game. I liked it, but I didn't really like the movie at all. Like I remember when Spike TV started playing Star Wars like regularly, like every weekend,
Every
Friday.
holiday they play it like 24/7.
Yeah, and they started playing it like once a week, at least one Star Wars movie. I think it was like Sunday nights. And I think it took until then before I watched it. Like, I might have seen it twice, but I'm pretty sure the second time I ever seen it was when Spike ran it, and I was working a Sunday night in a kitchen, and I just watched it because I was cleaning. And I was like, yeah, guess I'll give this another shot because there's nothing else on. But that's how much I disliked that movie.
There's that super awkward dialogue in episode 1 where Anakin is like, "Are you an angel?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Like,
a boy.
oh,
My
God.
name's Anakin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
there's a
know.
reason that guy doesn't act in anything.
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah,
And was in jail.
yeah.
No, that was one of those movies. Remember how I always said that it took me seeing Mortal Kombat Annihilation 4 times in the theater before I realized I hated it?
Yeah.
Same
Well,
thing
I
happened with
definitely-
that. Same thing happened with Phantom Menace. I saw it like 7 times in the theater, but the seventh time I was like, "Why do I keep doing this to myself?"
Yeah.
I was like,
really?
it turns out I was just going to watch that fight scene at the end, and that was it.
Yeah, the only
Because
reason
I kept
that
falling asleep at the beginning of the movie, and I would just sleep through the first like hour of it, and then wake up and be like, "Oh, fight scene."
exactly. And like the episode 3 was like Dick Punch the movie where like something really cool would happen and then something so stupid that it made you question why you were like still in the theater watching it. What happened
didn't
right
like that.
directly after.
I just
Oh,
didn't like
oh,
that.
that was-
Anakin's
that was a
turned
real-
to the dark side because he didn't get a promotion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like yeah, so I don't know.
It's like, what do you mean I still got to work second shift? This is bullshit. I'm turning to the dark side.
I'm killing the younglings.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
that's some shit in Kenobi.
Yeah. I am happy to see Hayden back, which I didn't think I'd even care.
Yeah,
But
He's in it?
yeah, he plays Vader again,
Wow, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
and they do a couple of flashbacks with him and Obi Wan when they were still working together.
So yeah,
I like that.
I didn't think I'd care because I didn't care for him that much. But like at the same time, I don't blame him as an actor.
No, it was Lucas's fault.
So
If you ever watched any of the behind the scenes footage, he was basically giving them like, "I need you to step here. I need you to step here. Say your line, and then go step over there."
yeah,
Well, how do you want me to say it? Just say it. That's
Say it
basically
with-
his directions. Just say it.
How else do you talk? Use your mouth.
Yeah, that's his direction. We cared more about technical stuff than actually the acting.
Yeah. So yeah, we're just basically caught up on everything we've been talking, watching and playing.
Strange New Worlds.
Well, see about it. I've heard
They
good stuff about
they found
that.
a way to introduce my least favorite legacy character into that show, and I'm pissed.
Are they just as ass and bad as?
No, they've been like building up to something, and when they finally did the big reveal in the last episode, I was just like, that guy. I'm not gonna ruin it, but I mean, I love the show. The show's great.
I've
But
been
I was
hearing
like,
good
why do you gotta bring this guy into this? Because come on.
I've been even hearing from some like really skeptical people that kind of seem really down on anything new Star Trek. I've actually heard like, oh, I was expecting it to be bullshit, but I actually like it.
Well,
Like,
yeah, they decided instead of making it serialized like all the other new Star Trek shows, this one is actually like each episode is its own thing. Like it's like this is the each story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Then you got another episode.
okay, so instead
And
of like an arc, it's just an episode.
Yeah, it's like the original series.
That's how I like.
But they do carry over like a theme or something. Like they might carry like something happened to a character in one episode, they'll bring it back up in another episode. You know, kind of thing. But it's not like one continuous long story. Each one is its own.
We got to get to the thing. It's going to take 10 episodes to do that.
Yeah, there's none of that. But there's like little things that'll happen. They're like, oh, remember when you got attacked by the Gorn in that episode? And then they're going to talk about it 10 episodes later, kind of thing. Okay. But yeah, they introduced a legacy character in this new episode. And I was just like, of all the characters you could have put in this show, why this one?
You can't love them all.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm loving the show. The show is fantastic.
That's
perfectly cast.
Like I said, I'm painfully far behind on Star Trek and the Orville, so I got to bump them up my priority list. Like,
the Orville came back. They're doing the weekly thing on Hulu with that too.
Yeah, I can't get Hulu, so I can just watch it on. I think it's on Crave here in Canada, so I'll have to catch up. The last one I tried watching that was a newer one was that Below Decks, and I wasn't really into it. I think I got 3 or 4 episodes in. I was like, eh.
Yeah, that one's kind of hit or miss. It's kind of like, to me, it's kind of like watching Family Guy.
Yeah, it was okay. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It felt like kind of like they were trying to be like half Rick and Morty, half Star Trek, which is whatever. Yeah, I was kind of indifferent to it. I didn't not like it, and I didn't love it. So
I watched it just because it's there. The one that I gave up on was Prodigy. The other animated show, the one that's actually on Nickelodeon for kids.
Okay,
is the one that I was just like, I have to watch everything Star Trek.
You just finally drew that line.
I was like, I think I'm okay.
I'm gonna watch the real animated one.
I think because it has a connection to Voyager is also something that I'm kind of like.
Yeah, I'm not big on Voyager either.
I do not like Voyager.
Okay, well, why don't we do some pickups, guys? You guys been picking some cool shit up?
Yes, sir.
All right, Tiger, why don't we let you lead the charge here with some pickups?
All right. Well, let me just preface this little segment. So I told you guys, like, I kind of just started getting into retro gaming, and I didn't start collecting video games until 2020. And I started with about 200 games. And like a couple months ago, I just crossed over 4,000. So like in 2 years, I've picked up almost 3,500 games, which is just insane. But I'll show you.
Sounds kind of like me.
Yeah.
I just crossed the 4,000 mark myself, but I've been collecting since like 2013.
I mean, I've always like, I never would call myself a collector before. I always kept my games. I never beat a game and traded it in. So I had them kicking around.
Yeah.
But when I say I really started collecting was probably, I don't know, 2014, 2015. When I finally got an NES, I'd say that's when I really started collecting.
When you had to start buying shelves for them.
Yeah. start building shelves for them.
Yeah.
For my OCD shelves here with no space.
Let me see here. My wife and I, we went on vacation a couple weeks ago to celebrate like our anniversary. And on the way back, whatever city we go to, I'm always looking up retro game stores. And so we found
That's why you got to go to those places.
I know, yeah. We found 3 of them, and I was like, all right, we're gonna go to all 3 before we go home. And I'm sure she was thrilled about that.
Shows.
Yeah, I know. I'm like looking at. I spent over $800 that day just on gaming. And these were some of the ones that I picked up. I
remember being able to do that before I bought a car.
I picked up 3D Dot Heroes. Did you ever play that game?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Lost Kingdoms 2 on the GameCube. Pandora's Tower on the Wii. Fear Effect 2 on the PS1.
Yeah, I commented on that one on Twitter.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Metal Gear Acid 2 on the PSP. Arcana Heart on the PS2. Those are just some of like the games from that day. Actually, just in the mail yesterday, I finally got the Bitmap NES Visual Compendium. Are you guys
cool.
familiar at all with Bitmap?
That looks rad as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have it. I have the Sega Master System. I'm a huge Sega Master System fan. That was the first console I ever had, so I collect heavily for that. I have that
That's
book.
sweet.
I just got the. You guys can call me a pervert all you want. I just got the Gal Gun
Collection.
collector's box. It came. Okay, I don't understand this. It came with a do-it-yourself tentacle kit. What does that even mean?
I don't know.
Hentai.
For the ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the ladies.
Every lady should have one.
I picked up that. I picked up Omega Boost on the
Hell
PS1,
yeah.
which
Sweet.
that's actually from the creators of Gran Turismo. I had
Yeah.
no idea that they did other stuff besides Gran Turismo.
It's like playing Star Fox. It's really fun.
That's pretty sweet. And I'll say one more. So my good buddy, GameCube Galaxy, just released like his top GameCube essential video, and he wouldn't shut the fuck up about iNinja. And so I finally I saw that, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go out and buy iNinja to appease him. So
Mhm.
I did that, and trying to think like
That wasn't an exclusive, was it?
no, it was not.
No.
Yeah.
So it's just so he doesn't like go. I thought you collect video games. You like I do, and he looks at your collection. Don't say I Ninja.
Yeah, I know. He's like, oh.
Now you got to go and buy Cubic Ninja or whatever that is.
No.
That's a criteria of you're a collector now.
Yeah, right. Trying to think if there's like any other. I mean, I'm all over the place. Pretty much the only systems that I don't collect for would be the actual original NES. I don't have one, and the Genesis. I don't have a Genesis. But
Familiar one.
But would you if you had one?
yeah, I'm sick
Okay.
in the head. Of course I would. I'd be going crazy.
Yeah.
You'll have to
But I'd say
ship a
those are
couple
like
out.
those are like the last week that I've bought
Sweet.
games. But I don't know. Have you guys played any of those games that I mentioned?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mega
like
Boost,
Fear-
Fear Effect.
Yeah, played Fear Effect also.
Um,
I mean, obviously I have iNinja.
yeah. Pandora, I have Pandora's Tower. I just haven't played it.
Yeah,
It
I
looks really
played a bit
neat.
of it. It's really cool.
I don't think I actually have iNinja.
Time to
Okay,
start collecting,
so-
I guess.
So I'm going to ask you guys a question and also reveal a little hidden fact about me. I, as a kid, was so obsessed with monster trucks. So I am on the lookout for my perfect monster truck game. So I bought the monster truck for the PS5 Championship.
Well,
But when
Monster
I say-
Jam.
Well, when I say I want a monster truck game, I don't want the ones where they're doing stunts or it's like very arcadey. I want like drag race monster trucks over cars and like obstacle courses. And I can never find that. So have you guys ever played like a monster truck game?
I want to say the Bigfoot game that came out for the NES was kind of like that.
Monster Truck Rally? Or was
Well,
it actually
No, it was
Bigfoot?
just Bigfoot. It was like
Okay.
the Bigfoot monster truck.
I will
What about,
totally check that out.
What about WWE Crush Hour?
Okay.
I forgot about that.
WWF
So-
Crush Hour probably is what it's called. It's old
Yeah.
enough.
So that's funny you mentioned that. My other buddy, Lame Dad, he's got a cool channel. He just published a video today. I bought him $800 worth of video games, surprised him, stuffed it all in a box, and sent it
I
his
like
way.
surprises.
But so yeah, he opens it on camera, and one of the games I got him was W Crush Hour for the GameCube, and I think it's a bad game, but he didn't have it, so I sent it his way.
I don't
it's just
actually
funny.
have it, but I would.
Yeah, I don't think I
definitely
have
pick it
that
up
one.
but I just remembered it.
I don't really like watch wrestling or anything like that, but like one of the things I've started to find out recently is that a lot of the wrestling games are actually kind of fun.
Yeah.
I can
So I've
totally
been
see
buying a
that.
bunch of them, and like I think I would probably buy that Crash Hour just because it's part of that franchise.
If you need some recommends for me as far as WWE games go, I've not seen them get better than Shut Your Mouth and Here Comes the Pain on PS2.
Not 2022.
The greatest back. It's fun, but they seem to be getting away from, because like the programming is more PG now. It used to be all about like the hardcore matches and the backstages and that, when they had Mick Foley in there, especially
Always cracking his skull every chance he got.
getting thrown off 30-foot cells and shit.
Yeah.
So they gotten away from that, but before they did, they had these massive backstage areas. It's like the back. You can go anywhere in the arena. You can go a block away from the arena, climb up on the outside of buildings, decimate all the traffic by like slamming someone through a limo. It's over the top. It's arcadey. They're I hate when games get too simulation.
Yeah.
And not about like the arcadey fun of it. And that's what I loved about those games. So I definitely.
But don't get me wrong, Fire Pro Wrestling is fun, even though that's more simulation than anything.
Yeah, they take a lot more skill than the rest of the other wrestling games too. Definitely, I've got the Fire Pro Wrestling World for the PS4, and it's the only reason I haven't gotten farther is that there's randomly like things you have to do in this match, or else you have to do it again. You have to do 20 finishers or something. You're like, oh, damn, it takes a long time.
Speaking of wrestling games,
Yeah,
when is that stream happening?
I gotta do it one of these days. I don't know. Whenever I have,
I made that poster for you. You better follow through.
I know, man. I know. And the first one was such a hit. The first time I ever streamed, and I had like 150 people watching.
Yeah, I don't think Tiger knows what we're talking about.
There's a wrestling game. A lot of people still to this day consider it one of the best wrestling games of all time. WWF No Mercy on the N64.
Okay.
Perfect amount of arcadey, fun. And I did a thing where I put an open call out. If you're a YouTuber and you want to be in on this 40-person First Blood knockout battle royale, opt in and I'll make you. I didn't want to make someone without their permission, because I didn't want someone to be like, cool, some random dudes getting a bunch of people to beat the shit out of me. I didn't want someone thinking like that. So I got everyone. I put out an open call. Even if I didn't know the person, I would go, okay, opt in. And I made everyone as best I could on an N64 game. And I gave them, okay, what do you want your finisher to be? I think that was the only other thing I asked. What do you want your finisher, or some move that you want? And opt in. And then we had the whole 40-person battle royale, and it was pretty awesome. I think Sarumaru won it. It was Sarumaru, and
I lasted my character lasted pretty long.
Yeah.
So you just simulate it?
Yeah. So I would
let the computer do it.
Oh man,
yeah,
dude, that's
so-
a great idea.
I did the
jealous.
commentary. I did the commentary on it, and
Dude, that's sick.
so I did a play-by-play, and I think the last two that were left were Radical Reggie and Sarumaru like choked him out.
Yeah,
That's a really good way too to just connect the community and like.
it was fun. Like I learned about a whole bunch of new YouTubers because
I got a lot of friends to this day because of it, and I've had a couple people like ask me, what are you doing? And I really wanted to do it, and it just seems like anytime I try to, the reason I do this show is because I don't have a lot of time to like make and edit videos, and but I want to keep the channel going. I want to keep content going. I still want to talk about the stuff I love. I just really don't have the time in life because I got 4 kids. I work full time, and I need to sleep at some point.
Mhm.
And I also was faced with the thing. It's like, oh, do I play games or do I just make videos talking about them? Because I also need to play these games. So
Yeah, that's such a cool idea, dude. If you ever do that again, let me know. I'm totally in.
I made a poster for part 2 of it, and
it's a really cool poster too. And to advertise, I got a bunch of people signed up. It didn't fill up as quick as the first time, but I was ready to do it. And then thing after thing came up, and I'm like, oh man. So
Dang.
I'm still. That's my thing. Is like I'm ambitious. I got ideas for videos. I just don't have near the time. If someone would edit videos for me, I'd probably be on videos all the time. But I probably have a daily video. But yeah, it's the thing. I just
It's a lot of work. Man,
the
I
more,
get it.
and I've got this thing. I don't know if it's an actual physical illness, but it's anytime I try to do something, the more I try to do it, the more shit fucking works against me. The more wrenches are thrown in the gears. I'm like, oh, like even today, trying to set up for this podcast, just turning on my computer and having it ready to go, so I wasn't holding the up. I'm like, huh. Suddenly, StreamYard isn't recognizing my mic or my camera. That's cool. So it's like one of those. So it seems like the more I try to do stuff, like even Chris and I used to do weekly videos. We were doing the top 3 Tuesdays for a bit, and it seemed like it got harder every week, even though it was like it should be easier. I should be used to, okay, I do this and then I do this, and I was like, man, it seems like more shit comes up every week. I'm like, I don't know how people get up a video every like 2 days. So,
imagine doing one a day for 31 days.
Yeah, I know.
Well, now you know why I still haven't made a new video for my channel.
So my channel, as much as I love doing this, it really suffers for life. You know, when my kids are older and they don't need so much and they don't like me anymore, I'm not cool dad anymore. I'll be able to do more. I'll be like, find them to lock myself in the garage and make videos. But yeah, I'm still want to do it. I'm hoping I can sooner or later. I'm gonna, next time I got like some serious days off, I still have to do my stream for the year and a half of video games monthly boxes. I'm opening a year and a half at once because I was cut off from my mail when COVID started, because I got, like I said, I live right on the border. Straight across the border, I got a PO box. That's where my video games monthly box got sent to every month. And I thought I cut it off at the beginning of the pandemic. Finally picked up all my mail, and holy shit, there's a year and a half of video games monthly here. So
That's wild.
that was fun. So I
hope you updated your collection.
well, I've actually cut it off now because I was like uncertain when they'd open the border and close it again, and all these requirements. I was like, I'll cut it off for now, and then I'll be able to afford to do more shit with it coming up. But yeah, maybe this week. I'm actually off all week. Maybe I'll do that this week. My daughter and I usually do those videos, so I'll see if she's up for sitting around for an hour with me on a stream. But yeah, I do want to stream because it's funny. I get asked all the time, like, dude, you beat all these games. You beat like, I beat like 210 games or something last year, and people are like, you should stream. It's like, oh, you wouldn't like me as a streamer. I'd be like, I'll be right back. My kid's crying. You know, like kids are all, of course, because
I gotta go do my rounds.
even though it's 10 at night and everyone's been in bed for 2 hours, the second it's like they hear my PlayStation beep, and then they're like, ah! All of a sudden, all of us are having nightmares and we're fevered. That kind of shit. So it's it's something I want to do. It's just something I don't get to do. But I'm glad I get to do this. So I get to still hang out with my friends and talk about shit I like, because no one likes the shit I like as much as I do around here. So I just don't want to burden people with my love of stuff. So I want to thank you guys exclusively for being here today to talk cool shit with me.
Heck yeah, thanks for the invite.
Yeah. So Chris, what do you want to see what your pickups are before I burden you with some more with things you don't
I got some movies, I got some games. So for movies, definitely had to get that Batman.
You got to.
I got the Batman. It's not a Batman, it is the Batman.
God damn it. You know what? I got a collector's box of it. It was like a big, and I forgot it in the house.
So. Took me 2 days to find a copy of it. Everyone was sold out about it, or sold out of it in the city.
They saw
so
me
I had to go to the goddamn burbs to get a copy.
They saw me coming down the main aisle that leads back to the electronics that Walmart has. Mm-hmm. They saw me coming down that aisle, and they're like, "It's right here, man." Like I was 30 feet away from electronics, and they're like, "Don't worry, we got it." I'm like, it's like almost like they held it off to the side for me. Yeah,
the sequel to 7, I didn't know I needed. It's awesome. It is basically 7 with Batman in it. It is crazy. Sick. It is intense.
Have you seen it yet, Tiger?
No, I've heard good stuff about it, and I didn't know
It
if I
is-
was gonna hear good stuff about it. But
It is
I would
It's
fantastic.
very polarizing. It's very polarizing. Some
Yeah.
people are like, they ruined Batman. I'm
By
like,
making
I've
him a
never-
detective again.
Yeah, 'cause he's actually a detective. I heard some really dumb takes on it. Like he's a pussy now, and I mean it's because it's Robert Pattinson. He's got that
Yeah.
stigma of Twilight that's going to be with him forever, and it's like it just gives me a flashback to Heath Ledger playing the Joker. Everyone's like, "Oh, the gay cowboy is playing Joker." What? And I'm like, "Oh, the
He's-
sparkly vampire Batman." I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I haven't heard that 100 times."
It's like, have you seen any other movie he's been in? He's actually a pretty good actor. I mean, everybody saw him in fucking Harry Potter and loved him in that, and he died.
Yeah.
I forgot that. Yeah, I forgot he's in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
That's my boy.
That scene
Yeah.
is fucking heartbreaking in that movie, and it was all because of him. But yeah, Batman is fantastic. It's long. It's 3 hours long, but it's awesome.
It's a good ride. It's good to see. People seem to think that like everything's supposed to be like The Dark Knight. When you're like, you realize Batman's been around over 80 years, right? There's different eras of Batman, different writers write Batman different, like all the time. It's good to see different takes on a character. If every time you saw Batman, he was just being Batman as fuck, like the same Batman all the time, you'd be like, he's kind of boring, actually.
Yeah.
I like that you get to see different aspects. Like,
Yeah, this
guy
one they
kicked the
finally
shit.
made him a detective. He's actually like investigating things.
Yeah, and he's not relying on just 1,000 gadgets.
Yeah, he barely uses 2 in it, I think.
Yeah, so that's why I like it's more like, and it's you get like he's only been Batman for 2 years, and people are like, whoa, I thought like he's like really unhinged and stuff. I was like, yeah, because he just became Batman.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, I thought you liked being Batman. He's never liked being Batman. Which Batman did you watch where he's like, oh man, I'm so glad my parents died, so now I can be Batman? Like, he's Batman for a reason. He's not like, fuck yeah, I'm just bored of being a billionaire. I'm gonna go kick dude's ass. Like, what Batman did you watch? Because I must have missed that one somehow. And I don't miss Batman shit.
Yeah. I also picked up Uncharted, the movie,
It's
which
a
I
good one.
really
just watched
enjoyed.
that. Yeah,
I really
it.
enjoyed it. It feels like it belongs in it feels like the video games.
That's cool
Yeah.
to hear.
Except the fight scene that takes place in a Papa John's.
Yeah. I really
funny.
liked it more than I thought I was gonna like it too.
Yeah.
I was like, I wasn't expecting to, and I wasn't one of those that was like, oh, what's his name isn't playing him. That's bullshit.
Oh yeah, Nathan
Is it
Fillion.
based off the first game?
It's not based on any of them. It's like a prequel.
Okay.
It's
Oh,
like
there's-
it's basically how Nathan met Sully.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
there's
And I
different
thought-
elements.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's
Oh,
different.
I was gonna say
elements in
like, yeah, it has stuff in there. There's stuff in there that you would recognize from the games. If you've played the games, there's stuff in there you're gonna be like, aha.
Yeah. Like you didn't hear about his brother till the 4th game.
Right.
Yeah.
You hear
They talk
him
about
in-
it. You see him in this.
but then the scheme's kind of like I can't even remember. I think it's kind of it might be the 4th one, like where there's like pirate ships.
Yeah, it's
and
like a
stuff.
pirate thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, it's like that, but it's not as predictable as the games. I don't know. Have you ever played the Uncharted games, Tiger?
Yeah, I've played all 4 on the console. I haven't played the Vita one though.
Golden Compass or whatever. Yeah, I liked all of them. The first one probably the least, but I hated how absolutely predictable they were at the same time. Is like we're running away from the bad guys, and we got into the tomb that no one's been able to get into in 500 years, and we found the thing, and then all of a sudden, I'll take that. You're like, again, look behind you, close something fucking behind you.
Yeah, close
Every
the door.
You just know you're gonna have to fight your way out of them. You're like, oh, look at all these
Yeah.
falling down pillars. Obviously, shootouts about that. It's almost like finding a bunch of health packs in another game. You're like, oh, boss fight. Health
Yeah.
packs and ammo everywhere. Yeah,
There's just
That
like
bug-
some random merchant like right outside the door that you're about to fight the boss. Like, all right, here you go. Here's all the stuff you need to buy.
yeah, exactly. That really bugged me in all those games. Like they were surprised every time that it happened. We're like, this is only the 9th time that's happened in 3 games. What are you talking about? Like, I love the set pieces and stuff, but yeah, I hated that they were like racing to get to something, and as soon as they get to the thing, and you're like, that would have actually probably been the end of the game. But then all of a sudden, oh, you figured it out, have you? And or whatever, like every like twice a game. It's like close the secret passage behind you when you go down somewhere. Damn it! Of course, they're gonna follow you right down. But yeah, the movie, I thought it was
fun.
a good blend. No, it wasn't. It didn't feel like it was retreading the games. I'd say it was kind of like the Tomb Raider movie that came out a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it's like a prequel.
Where like
how she became.
That was that almost felt like it was exactly. It told the story of the reboot game, but they did it differently. So you're like, oh, cool. So I don't know exactly what's going to happen because I played the game. So
I thought I was going to have a problem with Mark Wahlberg playing Sully, but he ended up being pretty cool.
What? No.
Yeah. But I had perfect faith in Tom Holland because that kid's got charisma, so I knew he was going to pull that shit off.
I as much as he's kind of a walking meme, I like Mark Wahlberg anyway. I don't even care.
Well, he's good at Sully. And then at the very end, they give him the mustache finally, and you're like,
Say how do you mother for me?
Yeah. Hey, goat. How you doing, goat?
What's it like being a goat? I want to know all about you.
Yeah.
Anyway,
say hi to your mother for me. I also picked up a 4K of the original Candyman.
Ooh, I still got to see that.
It is shot in Chicago. Takes place in Chicago. My brother tried to get me to leave the theater when this was playing because it was scaring the living shit out of him. There was like this part where they were ratcheting up the tension. My brother's like 5 years younger than me. And I bought the ticket for him, and we're sitting there, and this part's like ratcheting up the tension. He grabs my arm. He's like, "We have to go. We have to go like right now." I'm like, "Nope, I paid for it. We're staying." And then the big scare happens. And,
like it or not.
Yeah, the big scare happens. He's like, "Ah!"
Yeah,
I hate you.
The first one's good, and the second one basically is the same movie again, and almost kind of like a Hangover movie. And then the third one is just like,
what is this?
I
they just released the third one on Blu-ray too. I saw it at the Best Buy. I was like, oh no, there's one movie I do not have to buy.
I don't need to watch all the Star Trek.
But
I don't need to buy all the movies.
The requel thing that they released last summer was really good though. That one's really good too. But this one is one of my all-time favorite horror movies. It's fantastic. Yeah, it's actually scary. It's good story, good acting. It's got everything.
That's super cool. Hey,
I want to. These are really coming out of his mouth.
I want to interrupt real quick, just to let you guys know. I'm at the 10% warning for my laptop, and I don't have an outlet around me. So
okay. I'll burn these real quick. I remember you said that I'll buy that for $1 earlier.
Betcha.
Yeah, I picked up the 4K of RoboCop.
Yeah, you did.
Steelbook slut, baby.
Titanium book. That's a titanium.
Yeah.
Book.
This has the director's cut in 4K on it, which is the way to go. That's the only way to watch RoboCop.
Have you seen RoboCop?
No, I haven't.
Add it to the list.
I know.
After Terminator, though. After Terminator and Terminator 2, then you don't need to watch any of the other Terminator movies.
What about Back to the Future? I gotta check that out, right?
Yeah. But Terminator first. It's the best. It's the ultimate time travel movie.
When it comes to games, Strictly Limited. Finally got my copy of the Cotton series Saturn tribute.
Nice.
That's good.
So it says Cotton 2. What is it? Cotton 2, Cotton Boomerang. And what does it say? Guardian Force?
Yeah, there's a lot of them. I didn't realize there's so many Cotton games.
Yeah, I know.
I got the Cotton reboot on the Switch. It's pretty fun. It's really
I got that one too.
It's a good one.
Yeah,
it's fun. I beat Reboot and Panorama and 100%.
Yeah, Panorama Cotton. I have Panorama Cotton for the Genesis. And then 2 years in the making, I got my Turrican Anthology Volume 1 and 2.
Woo!
Assholes.
Woo!
Yeah. Dickheads. And then they give us that shitty "we're so sorry, we're not sorry" gifts that are worthless.
Yeah. You got yours ready? I'll show what we got.
No, I didn't bring them with. They're in a box in the other room.
They sent a Sorry soundtrack with it's
3 tracks.
Say sorry, and it's also sorry because it's got 3 tracks on it. Sorry ass.
And then some crayon artwork.
Got some postcards.
Yeah.
Got that one. We got that one. Why? It looks like stuff that. It looks like stuff that like when Nintendo Power people used to write in Nintendo Power and draw on their envelope. That's what this kind of reminds me of. It looks.
Yeah, it looks like it's like a little kid drew them all with crayons.
That's like the Mega Man cover art. It fit perfect there.
Yeah, for the first game. Yeah, the first game where Mega Man looks like he has like what is it, scoliosis?
Like,
it looks like a decent when it's small, but they also sent a poster, and you're like, oh, that's actually really ugly.
Yeah, when you blow it up, it looks even worse.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, what the fuck?
What's with his mouth?
Yeah.
And then Church got me to buy this one. It's Record of Lodoss War, Deedlit in Wonder Labyrinth on the PS5. It's a Metroidvania.
Yeah, no, I saw that for the first time. A buddy of mine picked it up, and it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I have a Record of Lodoss War game for the Dreamcast, and when he said Castle or Metroidvania, I was like, "You sold."
It's a really good game. I beat it a couple
cool.
months ago, but I had because it was on Game Pass, so I played it. But I also had it pre-ordered, but then I ended up canceling a shit ton of pre-orders, and unfortunately, I'm just gonna have to pick that one up later. But I didn't
realize it had come out. I knew it was a digital. I knew it was a digital game, and then I just happened to do a search for it on Amazon and saw that there was a physical, so I picked it up.
Yeah, it just came out about I think a month and a half ago physically.
Yeah.
So yeah, I regret having to cut that out.
I regret everything.
Yeah, I do. I really do.
So what you got, bro?
Damn, you just knocked out half the games I got.
Aw.
I'm just joking. I went for a trip for my wedding anniversary, my 13th wedding anniversary with my wife this past Monday, and I picked up a bunch of stuff. Two things you won't see in my pickups today were a couple of figures. I know everyone's like, thank God, 2 less figures we have to fucking hear about. But I saw Multiverse of Madness figures. They had Mordo and they had America Chavez, and I'm like, I don't really want all the figures from that wave. I don't want to build a figure or nothing like that. But they were $6, and I was like, $6, I'll grab them, whatever. And then I got home and I was like, I'm not going to build this guy, and I don't really care about these characters enough to really want them in the collection. And I was like, but they are $36 at Walmart.
Ooh.
So I pulled a sneaky and I went and traded them in and said, oh yeah, well, it's my son got these for his birthday, but we already have these ones. Anyway, also a legit small Lego set that we already had that he did get for his birthday, and we decided we wanted these more, so I traded those in. So for a whopping $12, I got Cruisin' Blast on the Switch. I've been looking forward to it. I used to like the cruising games. I'm not a big racing game fan, but if this is anything like the old ones, I'm all for it. And then the real one both of us wanted. We've really been getting into playing Lego. We've always been into playing Lego, but we've been playing a lot more of the Star Wars Legos together the last bit, him and I, and so I had to pick up Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. So I don't need an excuse to play the Lego games. I played them long before I had kids. Kids were my gateway excuse to being able to buy Legos and play with them. So no one's like, why do you let your husband spend all his money on those Legos? Fuck you. I got kids. It's for the kids. But they don't touch them unless I'm home. So yeah, excited. That was the only Lego game so far that I didn't have. So now I can still say I got a complete Lego collection. And then what do you know it? Bought some action figures, guys. All right. I don't know if you're a fan of League of Legends at all. I'm not. I played 1 round, I think, just to check it out, see what all the hype was about. But I keep seeing this figure. When I would go out of town, I saw him at Toys R Us. I was like, that's a really cool figure. I'm going to have to grab it one of these days. And I saw him a couple times, passed him up. He was like 30-something bucks. What do you know? Walmart got him in for like $15 cheaper. So I grabbed this Thresh figure. It's just a cool-looking like Reaper dude. I was like, I don't know, he can hang out with Dormammu and shit with my Marvel figures or something. Do a cool custom with him, or just keep him as is. I was just like,
I've come to bargain.
I was like, I feel like just because he's part of a IP, I feel like kind of a poser buying him. But I'm like, I'm a sucker for cool skill shit. So we got that. Pickups from my buddy down the street. He gave me some cool shit and also sold me some cool shit. So he gave me a sweet Ghostbusters print that I'm looking at right now, but I'm not tripping over shit to go get. A sweet Slimer print that said, who are you going to call? It was like a super 80s print thing. He just knew I'd like it. And he also gave me this random Batman The Killing Joke soundtrack like EP record. And I'm like, that's badass. I wasn't a big fan of the animated Batman the Killing Joke, but I do love Killing Joke and I do love music, so hell's yeah to that. And then this figure I ordered quite a long time ago finally came in straight from Hasbro Pulse, and that is the animated series VHS box Wolverine.
Cool.
I am a
Sick.
sucker for Wolverine. He's my favorite. It's not that I don't have a yellow and black and blue suit Wolverine, but there's another one now.
So I thought you were going to say
it.
you didn't actually have a suit.
Yeah, he's naked. He naked. But yeah, I love the cell shading on him. He looks just like out of the animated series. And of course, comes with an alternate head where he's not as mad. He's more reflective. Because what do you know it?
Oh,
I
please
can
tell
do
me
the
it
me-
comes with it.
I can do the
shit!
meeting. Yeah.
Oh shit!
So he can
that's
lay in
cool.
bed and be sad that he's not with Jean. So I love it. Might be the reason I decided to pull the trigger and order him. But yeah. Going more with stuff I bought from my friend down the street. I got this awesome retro Vision. I didn't have a comic version Vision for my Marvel collection, and he was just happened to be getting rid of it. He had a box of stuff that he rearranged his room. He said, I'm getting a bit more picky. I got some cool shit that you might want. So I was like, yeah. The box wasn't even open all the way. It was just like starting to open. I was like, well, first of all, Vision. Yeah. So, and this other one I'm also super excited to have. Another one I'm a sucker for, and I want all the versions of, and that is Gray Hulk. Love it. And I realize I'm being a sucker because only the head sculpt is new, and it's a get the most out of your mold situation. It's the same Hulk that I have for the comic style Hulk, the first appearance Wolverine Hulk, but I don't have a gray one. So yeah, it's a basically a figure I already have, just painted a different color and a slightly different face. But more Hulk is only ever a good thing. And another thing that I need more of all the time is X-Men villains. I got myself Black Tom Cassidy from the Strong Guy wave with his shillelagh. Beat the shit out of Banshee with that. And that's about it for figures. But I also got this from my friend, and I could not pass this up. Give me a sick deal on it. It's Batman The Dark Knight Returns statue.
Hell yeah.
I love that story. And you might find out how much I love that story in a few minutes here. He gave me a sick deal on it because there's like a slight, tiny, you probably can't even see it, paint chip on his leg, like right here. I'm like,
So that's what Sharpies are for.
Yeah, I got the latex paint. I'll just put a quick dab of paint on it. I can't even really tell anyway. It just looks like his leg's a little dirty. So I'm all for that. Continuing on with Batman. Who doesn't love Batman? Did you ever watch the Adam West Batman show? You said you like retro stuff, Tiger. You watch Adam West Batman at all?
I haven't, but it's like pretty memeable, right?
Yeah. Well, I got this little TV, so I can watch it.
Oh,
anytime
that's
I want.
sick.
There's a whole series of these little TVs. They got South Park ones. They got I don't know. There's like a whole bunch.
How many episodes are on there?
There's actually I think 20 scenes on it. You
That's
can
cool.
switch the channels on it. Where's the channel thing here? Yeah, switch the channel and then there's little scenes.
FYI, I'm at 5%.
Okay. Yeah. So it's really cool. It's gonna go in my my retro Batman collection there. So I think that'll go great in that retro Batcave. We got stuff to go with it too. We got Eartha Kitt Catwoman from the new McFarlane series, and we got Penguin. So stoked on those dudes. I got Batman of Zero and Law, which is like an alternate Batman where he's kind of a little bit more brutal. Love that. I want to keep going with Batman, but he's kind of buried. And to go with the shirt I'm wearing, the Hobgoblin Target exclusive Funko Pop. I'm not a big Funko guy, but for $7 for a pretty sweet shirt and one one of my favorite Spider-Man villains. I'll take that any day for $7. So it was down from like I think it was $30 US. So I'll buy that. Finally got myself a Mando figure. It's not really the scale I wanted, but I saw him, so I grabbed him. Kind of cool, the retro style. Speaking of Lego, I got this Thor Love and Thunder set, mainly just for the minifigures. But yeah, we got Jane Foster, Mighty Thor. We got Thor's new look from the movie. We got Christian Bale as Gore. That's cool. I'm not really a fan of what else comes with that shit. This one's more of a my wife pickup, but I'm happy to have it in our set anyway. She got the Gremlins Ultimate Gizmo. He comes with a Santa hat. He's got a trumpet, and he also comes with the headband and bow and arrow, so he can be Rambo. So that's pretty badass. She's got like a little setup in her tattoo shop, a whole bunch of gizmo shit. So thought that was cool. But then while we were at that section is where I found shit I like. I got Motorcycle Cop T1000 from Terminator 2. Always down for more Terminator stuff. I thought I missed the boat on these. I saw them clearing these out a couple months ago at Target. I'm like, cool, because I can't get there. And then another one I'm huge on. I love the cover of this. The Sarah Connor and John Connor 2-pack. Love it. I didn't have any John Connors except for like the really old one, so happy to have that shit. Going on to Transformers. I got the new blaster. Looks just like it did in the movies. Love that shit. I got 18 other Transformers and these die-cast dudes. Pretty cool. It was like $10. Can't not get those. Me and my son are going to have a blast with those. And going on with my Dark Knight Returns love, I picked up Dark Knight Returns Superman, Dark Knight Returns Batman, so they can battle it out. Dark Knight Returns Joker. And I've actually already sent it back to Amazon because they sent me this gray version of the girl Robin from the Dark Knight Returns. And I ordered the full color one. It's like a chase variant. I'm like, I don't need an all gray one that I got to paint. I ain't got time for that. So I sent that shit back. And I got these super budget aliens. They were like $10 each. Need more xenomorphs all day long. And that's it. So since we're so low on battery power, why don't we hit that backlog roulette? What do you think?
I think that's about time. Yeah.
Alrighty.
So what is that backlog roulette, Jason?
Well, backlog roulette is you take a list of 0, 00, and 1 to 36 of games you want to play that you haven't, movies that you want to watch that you haven't, whatever it is that you got a whole bunch of shit in your backlog to do. Bunch of old 90s shows you need to watch, anything like that. And then you spin the wheel. Whatever number comes up, now you don't have an excuse to not play that. So without any further ado, let's spin that wheel. All right. As always, I hope it comes up video games. If we lose you randomly, we know it's not out of anger, Tiger. All right,
Okay.
Yeah, number 30. All right, what you guys got for 30?
Ooh.
Oh, all right.
Well, Tiger, what'd
I
you get?
got Trigger Witch on the Switch.
Sweet.
You guys ever heard of that one?
No.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I haven't played it though myself.
It's
Sweet.
from Play Asia. It's like a retro, like it's not 8-bit, but it's lower quality, but it's like a run and gun explorer. So it'll be interesting.
Sweet.
I got Alien Soldier on the Genesis.
Cool. I got Spider-Man.
Treasure.
I got Spider-Man, the Spider-Man animated series game that's just called Spider-Man from the
For the Super Nintendo or Genesis?
yeah, for the Super Nintendo. So I'll be checking that out. I never got very far in that game back in the day, so we'll see how I do. How'd you like your last game there, Chris?
I got Streets of Rage 3, and it's fun. Probably not my favorite game in the series, but it's a fun game. I'll probably keep playing it.
It's a general kind of consensus that 2 is the best one.
Yeah.
I'm pretty partial to 1 also, though. I think it's what I played the most.
I mean,
of
I
it.
still like it, but it's probably at the bottom of my list. It's probably like 2, 4, 3, 1. But 1 is still great. There's no bad Streets of Rage game.
As long as we're all in agreement that Streets of Rage is leagues better than Final Fight. So
yes.
Right on. I played Rodea Sky Soldier. I beat it. It was like the perfect length. I think I liked the mechanics of it. I played the Wii version, not the Wii U version, as originally intended, and it was a lot of fun. But yeah, so I'm hoping the Spider-Man game. So I know it's not as good as Maximum Carnage and shit like that, but I'm hoping to have fun with it. And yeah, I finally got an excuse to delve deeper into this game. I think I've only beaten like the first level maybe on this one, so happy to try. Well, before you completely run out of battery power here, Tiger, I want to thank you for stopping by. It's good to meet you. Good to hear your opinions on some cool ass shit and hear first time reactions on stuff that I kind of wish I could experience again for the first time. So we'll have to have you on again once you've seen Terminator and RoboCop.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you guys so much for thinking of me and having me on. It's been really cool getting to know you guys better and learning your tastes and just nerding out. It's what I love about this community.
That's what we're all about here. Yeah, I've been I'm newer to your content. I thought I was subscribed a while ago, so I know I've been seeing your videos popping up anyway. So I'm happy to delve more into your library and check out more stuff. So
definitely, for anyone watching, check out the Tiger Chainsaw Show. It's a lot of work, but it's really, really unique and cool. Like I do comedy sketches. I have independent artists and YouTubers go on to perform music acts. I'd have interviews with like the game devs. Like I just told you, David Jaffe was tweeting about it. Like, hey, go check this guy out. So seriously, give it a shot if you guys have time.
I'm really enjoying what I've seen so far, and I'm going to keep checking it out. So yeah, it was really, really fun for you to take the time to be on here. We appreciate you.
Absolutely.
All right. Everybody else, catch you on the next one.
See you guys.
Bye.
Hasta la vista, baby.
In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.